Clips, clips.
And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Alrighty, big troops, another one of Keeps Clips. Welcome to your Daily PoliTITS. Check out the do, man. Everybody loves it. I love it, but fuck it. We all stay in Gotham City now. So welcome to your daily dose of your Daily PoliTITS. Daily in the sense that it's a play on this show called Daily Politics. But I will be here as much as possible. But see, sometimes it's good not to watch genocide live for weeks upon weeks upon weeks upon weeks. GG Roberto, hopefully yous are all good in the morning, man. That's why some people don't get my sense of humour. Because I just take the piss out the biggest, atrocious fucking everything. How can you joke about that? In these times, exactly. In these times is the best time to fucking joke about it. And yet, look, I'm not on the crack. It's a bubbler from my vape. So I'm not on the crack cocaine yet. Although, by the haircut, done by yours truly, might make it look that way. So, anyway, what a fucking shit show of, I can't, this is going to be a short show, man. I can't watch and tolerate this stuff. It's like, we'll save the NHS. No, we'll save the NHS. Oh, no, you won't. Oh, yes, I will. Oh, no, you won't. Oh, yes, I will. It's Punch and Judy. It's not politics. It's not even Punch and Judy politics, because that implies there's some fucking politics involved. Anyway, let's try and quickly get into this so I can catch the top of our streams. Anyway, I honestly don't think I'll be able to watch. I'm going to leave the BBC, ITV and all the British shit to last. Because I'll need the Spaceballs facility to fast forward through it. Otherwise, I simply won't be able to put it up yet. It's a fucking giraffe. But at least the American politics has got like a wee bit of fucking bust and muster in it. There's just like just two clowns in a fucking Cambridge debating society. Oh, hold on, that's pretty much what it is. Talking shite and then going for a wee fucking reach around, a pint and a reach around afterwards. So, what a fucking joke. Anyway, so the concept of the show is very easy. I need to go and touch on this. I haven't seen any yet. Although I did see a guy going up to Charlie Veach and calling him a walloper, but nothing new there. Fucking retards standing at the street going at recording each other, just waiting for that wee Beatles about fucking moment. Oh yeah, I'm going to argue my law against your law. Let's go down fucking Speaker's Corner and talk shite endlessly. I'm sorry if he's still in that game. I just think it's all pointless. What Tommy Robinson done when was it? Saturday? I've not even watched any of the footage, but I'm pretty sure there'd have been a few punch-ups. Pointless. It's pointless. It's not even like a gimmick. It's just basically pointless. It is an excuse for a piss up. I don't even think they call it a protest anymore. Or do they? Anyway, so let's see if we can catch some of the top of our newsies that's just going on. So the BBC's.
Well done to Barry.
Hello, Barry. Hello, Kate. Right, got the Sky News one. No, let's start with RT. I'm thinking.
I've examined some of the.
Not only just to laugh at the drunken guy,
Russia's military says Ukraine has lost about 200 soldiers in one day amid intense fighting in the Kharkov region.
Score on it.
RT's
How many points do you get for that?
Of the equipment left behind by Kiev's forces.
When a Ukrainian unit has to retreat, they quickly tape the scope to a nearby tree or something. And if you think that they go blind when the night falls, well, actually, they can see everything as bright as day.
As the US
Messi,
and Germany
I don't believe in you. I think you're fake. Messi, I'm pretty sure you were like a wee floating thing in the water. In the morning, Messi. Anyway, I was focusing on that. I want to hear what these guys are saying, actually. It's worthwhile taking a wee bit of shit in, you know.
Russia's military says Ukraine has lost about 200 soldiers in one day amid intense fighting in the Kharkov region. RT's Igor Zhanov examines some of the equipment left behind by Kiev's forces.
When a Ukrainian unit has to retreat, they quickly tape the scope to a nearby tree or something. And if you think that they go blind when the night falls,
all their wares,
well,
for
actually,
their propaganda
they can see
purposes.
everything as
It can't be
bright as
propaganda,
day.
it's real!
As the US
Hello,
and Germany
McFly.
let Ukraine use their long-range weapons in Kharkov to strike deep within Russia, Europe finds itself divided over fears of a broader conflict.
They announced the opening of a new
You're
section of
already
the
there,
road to hell
dickwad.
every day. We need to pull the emergency brake so at least those who want to can get off and stay out of the war.
South Africa's president calls on all political forces in the country to work together as his ruling ANC
Nothing about
party
Mexico,
has
man.
lost
I
its
want to know about
majority
the
and is
fucking
now
global
seeking to
taco
form
price.
a coalition government.
What's
Warning
up?
disturbing images. Israel is reported to have struck a
Warning,
refugee
disturbing
camp in
village.
central
Well,
Gaza,
images.
killing
We
at
have
least
to show
6
you these
civilians,
images.
all of whom
We
were
have
women
to.
and children.
See, I'll be honest. See, right there, right then. That just makes me want to switch off. I'm like, right. How many did? Do you know, like, well, you believe in this shit or not, right? But they say that people that go to war zones and all that come back pure stressed with the fucking shit that they've actually had to witness. Welcome to 24-hour fucking news in 2024. That's all you're getting. Here's some dead bodies for this neck of the wood. Here's some dead, and it's like almost like, well, they get paid like the. I don't know this categorically, but I'd be very surprised if they didn't get paid more money. The people taking all these pictures and video footage and all that, and selling them to the highest bidder. Don't get more money for the ones with fucking lost heads and limbs and everything. How many hits and clicks you think Tommy Robinson got for showing that dead grandma bleeding out in the street? Imagine you were a family member of that old grandma and you're sitting on your fucking face bag, fucking looking at football shit and all that, because you like football shit with Tommy tit bags there, and next thing you know you see your granny or your fucking family member bleeding out in the street. Brilliant! It's really, really brilliant, man. Seriously, I just want to sort of fucking... Right, that's their top of our news. This could be a very short one, man, because there's nothing really to fucking... What is it to watch? I just want to know the topics.
The scene at the hospital after...
What are they telling me to think about today? Like that. Commodities. Gold! Gold's down, eh, all? But invest in fucking London Brent as a... There's a joke in there. Right. Hold on one little fucking second, man. I can't get a fucking charge on my phone because I'm using my old one. Oh, I thought I was in a waterfall there with that music.
South Korea has announced it's suspending a military agreement with North Korea. That comes days after Pyongyang sent hundreds
this
of
is what I
balloons
call
filled with
news.
rubbish across its border with the...
It wasn't filled with rubbish, it was filled with shit. Well, rubbish as well, but there were shit bombs as well, man. They literally shat on their adversaries from a great height. Now, that's a PR victory in fucking any way you put it. How's that propaganda? How's that propaganda if it's real? Propaganda doesn't have to be fucking lies, man. People have sucked into that. You know what I mean? Like, like if I wanted to wind up proper, oh, I've used that analogy enough times, man. With football analogies, rivals, and all that shit, you can say 1,000,001. 99 shit balloons. I got 99 shit balloons. But a bit chain one, I don't know. That was a shit. This is what I call news.
Some flew over Seoul's international airport, forcing flights to be delayed. The military deal was signed back in 2018 to ease tensions between the neighbouring countries. Rob McBride has the latest from Seoul.
With a change in wind direction over the weekend, with winds coming more from the north, North Korea was able to launch hundreds more balloons across the DMZ border into South Korea. Many of those balloons landing in border areas, others to the west of Seoul, including Incheon Airport.
They must be cheap as fuck to produce.
Causing some disruption.
They must be cheap as fuck to produce. You don't need any munitions, you just shit in them. But it still has the same effect, man. I wonder if we're going to get shit bomb fucking air raids. Set off by the shit bombs.
North Korean defectors living here in South Korea launching propaganda balloons into the north. Now this is a very
Attention citizens! Attention citizens! This is your dear leader speaking. There is shit coming from above.
from more progressive liberal groups like the protesters outside the presidential office here, saying that this is an undue provocation that could escalate things out of control given the tensions on the peninsula.
It's kind of a mohawk, man. It's like a fucking mohawk done by a madman that's drunk. Thought he knew what he was doing.
If you're citizens living in South Korea, you should avoid provocative
everyone walks about like they're in fucking Gotham City now, man. I want my wee piece in the puzzle. My wee part before I
receive propaganda balloons from the south. Meanwhile, the defector groups who launched those balloons.
I love the way they just skip right. Honestly, these were shit bombs. They had fucking like a lot of the. Right, that'll be a thing to watch. Will any of them touch on it was shite that was in it? It was rubbish as well because it shows you some of them opening up and it was like, yes, they're. Hold on, I'm acting like I've not got the internet here. North Korea, something like that. Shit bombs. South. Now, if the algos don't bring me back a fucking thing, I know they're fixed. Right, that was 2 days ago in a statement to scatter mounds of waste paper and filth. Yeah, well, they wouldn't say shit, obviously. I thought they would at least go as excrement. Yeah. Well, like it's all over the gaff. There's a Hindu Times, feces. They went a wee bit further. Poop bomb! Well, it was 5 days ago. This must have happened ages ago. They must have needed something to... Must have needed some shit to fill up the news cycle. Because I tell you what, when I was floating about earlier, for a couple of hours this morning, I was trying to get a hold just of the news cycle, what they're talking about. It's nothingness, the UK press. It's pretty much no news apart from the fucking election. Because, well, I suppose people think that's important. That's just... right, please work. I need that charged. Right, so that was noteworthy. Where was that? Al Jazeera's, wasn't it?
Have issued a statement showing no sign that they're going to give up their propaganda balloon campaign. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
The Rhino Charge is an annual off-road competition taking place in Kenya, which aims to promote environmental conservation. Drivers pass through several checkpoints while travelling across difficult terrain. Catherine Soy reports from Torosay in southern Kenya.
The landscape of Torosay is unforgiving, but at the same time breathtaking.
Kenya.
Deep in the wilderness, lovers of big cars have made this town in southern Kenya their playground for a day.
No, I was happy about this.
Competition with an environmental purpose. They're raising money to protect water towers, fence wildlife reserves, and help communities deal with the effects of climate change. Graham's team has completed several
hold
times
on.
since the Rhino Charge Challenge
Can
started
anybody put in the
decades
comments
ago.
the irony? The irony. They wouldn't be able to do this in the West. Only fucking places. Like, what can we do to raise money for climate change? Let's get big fucking Hummer fucking things, man, and bounce them about fucking some terrain. Now, I'm all in on that, but just the irony of fucking... I think they're taking the piss. I think they're like, right, how can we get a free ride here? How can we get a free ride? I know. We'll say, nod, wink, wink, that we're raising money to save the fuck wildlife and all that jazz. Jazz hands. And and then we'll just fucking drive about, man, like Formula 1 shit and big off-roaders.
Not protecting our water towers and the environment, so it's just something I've grown up with and I feel very passionate about it.
This is not a race based on speed. Although contestants do have to go through checkpoints in the quickest time, they must use the most difficult routes.
Right, that's quite funny actually.
Through the terrain to find a way to get to the finish line.
Organizers say measures have been put in place to ensure there is minimal damage to the environment.
We're looking at the emission coming from all the campfires that we have here at the venue, plus emissions related to the burning of biodegradable
waste. I think that must be a bold
on site. Again, we bury it, and then we put that into a mega CO2 emission calculator, and then we purchase offset from a forestry project that is being validated.
I
find that usually amusing, but it certainly ain't news. Tell you what, it's more palatable than shit that's on the BBC, not?
Do stay with us.
Fuck's sake, that's the first 15 minutes. I don't know about you guys, right? See, Gaza, right, there's been genocides before that have just been fucking ignored, right? No doubt. But Gaza's more than fucking a perceived genocide. It's interlinked pretty much with the whole geopolitical fucking world, if you get me. Whereas like a wee fucking thing down in Sudan, what's that? China and the West wanting some cobalt or something.
Facing realities.
But Israel, it's everybody's got fucking interests in what's happening in that neck of the wood. And the winner takes it all. Right, let's see, are they going to actually touch on it?
My cousin started fell.
The bill is
nothing quite says it's news, like some lovely music in the background.
A historic landslide victory in Mexico. Claudia
Arriba! See, I told you I was worried about the global tackle crisis.
I'm Tom McRae, this is Al Jazeera live from Doha. Also coming up, in central Gaza, Palestinian civilians are rushed to hospital after Israeli strikes target homes in a refugee camp. The end is in sight for the El Nino, which has caused extreme weather events and soaring temperatures across the globe. And
I'm Rob McBride in Seoul.
Global warming, right? Let's not mention the fact it's called El Nino because I think they've been calling it that for some time now, before global warming was invented.
There's heightening tensions between the two Koreas and within South Korea itself.
Now, was that an actual ship bomb, or was that a replica of a ship bomb? That is real journalism. That is the questions I'd be asking if I was put on the crowd.
Female president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is projected to win by a landslide. She's a former climate scientist and mayor of Mexico City. She's set to succeed her political mentor, the outgoing president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
I will not let you down. Today we managed to carry out continuity and progress. And for the first time in 200 years, a woman has made it to Mexico's presidential seat. We will govern for everyone.
I had another one earlier, and that exact same bit was translated into English and said the Republic. It was different.
Mexico's Electoral Institute says a rapid sample
count
count projects she will win nearly 61% of the vote. She's beaten her presidential rival, Xochitl Galvez, who's conceded defeat by more than 30%. Well, our Latin America editor, Lucia Newman, has more from the Mexican capital.
Right, no offence, Mexico, man. I genuinely couldn't give a fucking flying shit. Till my tacos go up. There we go, man. What the fuck was that?
Strike on a car.
Right,
the wounded have been taken to
going too long there without fucking getting some wee dead babies and bodies. 7 killed.
Has more from Der Al-Bala.
What's new? That's no news.
Families are bidding farewell to their beloved ones. Since the early hours of this morning, we saw
they haven't got the
disturbing scenes with mothers and children crying over the loss of their
drone noise in the
ones,
background.
even family members who have been directly targeted without receiving any kind of a prior warning, and they have been completely asking for an immediate ceasefire that would bring an end for the fighting. But the situation extends totally to be difficult also in the far south of the Gaza Strip, including Khan Yunis, a city where at least also 10 Palestinians have been killed in an airstrike that destroyed a residential building, and including of the victims, there are at least 3 Palestinian children.
And nobody
well.
has to put up with dead bodies.
Reality and the grim one inside the territory, as we have been hearing within the past couple of minutes.
I think
more
news should be limited to the wireless.
Of Al-Nusayrat and Al-Baraj refugee
then there's no dog in the fight to grip the most atrocious dead bodies in front of you. Now, you couldn't get half that shit in a film, even though it's quite extreme. Do you know what I've seen for the first time ever I can remember on what I would consider mainstream fucking shit? It was on Netflix, right enough.
Al-Aqsa Hospital is overwhelmed with patients and wounded people. Many are in critical condition. They cannot get treatment outside of Gaza because the Rafah crossing.
Yeah, this is better than Dead Bodies, honestly. It's on Netflix. It's called A Man in Full, and then there's a wee animation to mean fall, right? So A Man in Full, fall, and it's definitely got the touches of Donald Trump about it, right? Which I love, man. It's fucking hilarious, which is a good thing, you know? And then there's this one bit where this business rival, they're fucking fighting heads in this big corporation, and then this wee guy who'd always been down there starts to try and climb the ladder, and they ended up fucking shagging the dude's wife. And he comes in, right, like, long story short, ends up standing in front of him with a towel, and you could see, like, they had a big hot stoner underneath it. And then, like, I thought that's as far as it was going to go, and then somehow, I think they started fighting. The towel came away, man, and just had this big 3 fucking, 3 Viagra hard on. Fucking thought it was funny. But also kind of weird that it was on Netflix. I'm sure it would have been an 18, you know. But
Hind Al-Qadri sent us this report from the hospital in Der Al-Bala.
What's acceptable?
Al-Aqsa Hospital has been treating the wounded since the war on Gaza began. They've been constantly overwhelmed. Many patients have no choice but to sleep on the floor. And some need help that the hospital is unable to provide.
I hope I'll be treated and that I'll be cured so I can go home.
You never
Doctors
had
here say
stoner
I
before,
might need to
Nancy?
be treated abroad.
Muhammad and his father were injured when an Israeli bomb struck their
It's
home.
going out of fashion, like all
Doctors here
fucking
at
old
Al-Aqsa have been able to
Central
make
Belt
him comfortable,
Glaswegian words,
but
which
he'll
I
need
fucking
treatment
hate.
outside of Gaza
Bouncing
if
about,
he's
talking
ever
like we're
to
to
walk
South Central.
again.
But stoner.
I've been waiting a long time to travel
Back in the
abroad
day
and get
for
treatment. I still hope to get cured.
Oh,
to be
he's
able
got a
to walk,
panda
play
on it!
with my friends, and to
Wow,
go to
extra points. Extra
Israel
fucking
has
points.
shut
Bet you
down
need
the
to take
crossing
that
to
around with him or
Egypt
prop that.
until
You're good.
it's open again.
Glass eye, wooden leg,
Patients
you're good
like
to go.
Muhammad
You
won't
can
be
cuddle
able
that
to
for
get
2
the
seconds.
help they need. The Israeli blockade is also denying Gaza's
Good cut.
hospitals
What is it you
the
say at the
medical
start?
supplies they need to keep people alive. Some patients are worried about what will happen if they
Oh,
don't
wooden
get
leg
proper
only.
treatment.
What? It's got that. It's got.
Because of all
Got
this
the-
disruption, I'm afraid that my leg will have to be amputated. Here in
Yeah,
the hospital,
wooden
there are
leg,
a
man.
lot
I've got
of
wooden
wounded
leg in
and
my
injured people,
fucking
and the
cupboard
medical
for you,
staff
hen.
can't cope with these
I'll
big
sort you
numbers.
right out.
Sometimes they treat my wounds even without anesthesia due to a lack of supplies. Every day, the hospital receives more wounded people.
Right. You
Doctors
can pretty
here
much,
say
you know,
time
I
is
don't know
running
if you
out.
pay attention
And
to
if
any of
Israel
this stuff,
doesn't-
you know exactly what this will all say.
in risk. Al Jazeera,
Palestinian officials
him.
have declared.
Gaza,
An
Palestine.
extra thick.
In northern Gaza, Palestinian officials have declared the entire area a disaster zone, including the Jabalia refugee camp. Rescue workers have recovered at
Now
least
look at the amount of
120
stuff
bodies
that's
from the
happening
camps
in
since
Gaza
the
that
end
might
of
or might
Israel's
not be
three-week
noteworthy.
operation.
Right.
The
I know
Israeli
Al
military
Jazeera's
destroyed
kind of like
50,000 homes
beating a dead
and left
horse.
what was once Gaza's largest
Like giving you
refugee
like
camp in
10
ruins.
minutes or like
The Palestinians say
decent
they are
deaths.
determined to rebuild all
I just need to know the
that
scores
they've
on the
lost.
boards. I don't want to see all the dead bodies, thank you
we will
very
remain
much.
steadfast, no matter what unfolds. Even if they demolish the shop once more, I'll stand firm and won't leave. I'll set up a tent here and we will continue our sales with a smile on our faces
I'm an
when
80s
serving
stroke
customers,
90 child.
despite everything.
We want to reclaim our lives, to return to the camp. We wish to, at the very least,
I was a
clear some
young
space amid the
buck
rubble
in
where
the
we
early
can sit.
90s.
This way, we'll at least be living in the camp,
And
where we
Oasis
have
and
cherished
that
memories.
jazz.
We refuse to remain in schools and shelters, abandoning our camp.
Peace and
We'll
jam.
clean up as much as we're able to.
Staple
We'll
of
remain
all
here.
veins in
This is
Glasgow.
a message of resilience to the Palestinian people.
The families of Israeli captives held in Gaza have staged a protest outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office in West Jerusalem.
Right, now let me guess. Fuck all happened. And if they ever try to do anything, Right Squad, Darth Vader outfit wearing motherfuckers will come in and just hit them with sticks till they go away. Look what happened or is happening in America. Sometimes you hear there's still shit going on in campuses. Well, I think they made it impossible for them to camp. And now, the last thing I heard was some of them walking out during their graduation or some shit.
It's where the War Cabinet gathered to meet on Sunday. There have been weekly protests in Israel calling on the government to secure a deal to return the captives. Yossi Beilin is a former Israeli cabinet minister and negotiator of the Oslo Accords. He says it's in Netanyahu's best
It's
interest
like
to
trying to get a Rangers and Celtic fan in the
Netanyahu
room
doesn't have
and go,
a
right
problem.
guys,
I mean, if
we need you to agree on who's best.
leaves the government, then
You know, what it needs is some cunt to come in pay outside with a big motherfucking club and go like to both sides, yeah,
and
fucking
the
stupid
party of Gantz
and beat both of them to fuck and beat them both into submission.
Gantz will remain in the government.
Figuratively.
Lapid will remain in opposition, but both of them
Although literally
will
could
support
work as
him.
well.
So the problem that he's having is in many ways artificial. If he agrees to something that, according to the president of...
This is like trying to get a woman to negotiate about fucking taking up the ass. You're either all in or not, man. There ain't no fucking phasing in the fucking ceasefire. Oh, dearie me.
President Biden himself is an Israeli offer, then he will have a coalition, or he will have a majority to implement it. The right-wing government is causing all of us huge problems. It was a political decision of Netanyahu, who had rejected them. Only 3 years ago, he said there will never be on my government. But since he needed them to have a majority, and he made it the most important thing to get back to the function of a prime minister, he agreed eventually to something which he should have never agreed to, making them the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Police. God forbid. He will be criticized, but the majority of the Israelis will support it. And if this deal is eventually connected to a larger regional deal, according to the Arab Initiative of 2002 and the readiness of the Saudis to be part of a security coalition under the United States, this will be his most important legacy. Otherwise, his legacy will be very disappointing. And so even if it is a selfish thing, he should support his own plan, if it is really his own plan.
A drone launched by Hezbollah has caused a fire in Israel's northern city of Nahariya, that's 7 kilometres away from the Lebanese border. Israel's military said it wasn't able to intercept the drone. No injuries were reported. This comes a day after Israel and Hezbollah exchanged fire several times. Sana Hodder reports from southern Lebanon on the increased tensions at the border.
Here in southern Lebanon, we've really seen Hezbollah change its posture. It is something the Israeli War Cabinet even acknowledged, saying
Israel
that
has a land
Hezbollah
border.
has
Well,
been crossing red
Israel
lines,
as it is
and
has a
that
land
it
border
needs
with
to be deterred. Even the Israeli media talking about the intensity of Hezbollah's attacks as of late. They have been using armed drones. It seems to be their weapon of choice nowadays, and more often than not, Israel's air defenses are not able to intercept all these drones. So this is Hezbollah using heavier weapons as well. When they fire rockets, they fire dozens of rockets at a time. They're trying to showcase their capabilities.
I'm pretty sure Israel invaded the
They are
Sinai
showing
at one
support for
point.
Gaza, but
Could be wrong.
also this is Hezbollah
Jordan,
trying to achieve
I'm
some
not
sort
at
of
war with
deterrence. It
them,
wants to
kinda.
tell the Israelis that they cannot continue to
In
escalate the
Syria and
situation
Lebanon,
along the border
to the
without
north.
expecting an escalation to be met in an escalation in kind. And it's not just that, also trying to tell the Israelis not to widen the conflict. But no doubt the confrontation along this border has reached a new phase, a more destructive phase. We are seeing areas in northern Israel being destroyed. So all this pressure expected to step up as a decision on a Gaza ceasefire nears.
South Korea has announced it's suspending a military agreement with North Korea. That comes days after Pyongyang sent hundreds of balloons filled with rubbish across its border with the south. Some flew over Seoul's international airport, forcing flights to be delayed. The military deal was signed back in 2018 to ease tensions between the neighbouring countries. Rob McBride has the latest from Seoul.
With a change in
Shit
wind
bombs,
direction
we're back
over
on
the
it with shit
weekend, with
bombs.
winds coming more.
Right, okay, so let's let's go and do a wee bit of BBC.
Stay with us.
Oh, there's going to be too many dead bodies on fucking
Out of more
RT
than $4
and
billion.
whatnot.
The BBC has been investigating the disappearance of Ruja Ignatova for 5 years.
Sex in the law means biological sex.
So Keir Starmer will pitch
See, I'm already wanting to switch
Labour
off.
the Conservative.
This is like listening to a Alex Jones show 5 years ago, man. And it's now fucking... it's now what people are running on to fucking become your Prime Minister, man.
London, this is
I don't know if
BBC
people
News.
can
The
swallow
general
that.
election campaign continues as the Conservatives promise to update laws on sex and gender if they win.
What the fuck? Update laws? He's been in for, what is it, 14 or 16 years? Those pricks have been in for. And they're talking about updating laws? About fucking people's sex and... I don't know, man, if he's can't see this as a pile of shite. Because, I mean, you go into any boozer, everybody, man's talking about this, man. It's one of those subjects. What the fuck you talking about? And then the old ones are turned against the fucking young ones. It's fucking mental. It's crazy. And people are falling for it. Aye, this is no good
It
for
would
my
mean
stress
some
levels.
organisations could bar transgender women from single-sex spaces.
What we are trying to do is re-emphasise that sex in the law means biological sex.
So Keir Starmer will pitch Labour as the party of
When
national
did it
security
not?
and stress his ambition
Who
to
was
increase
there?
defence spending.
Under whose watch did all this shite? Turtle's
For
head
rugby
fucking
league
pop
legend
it.
Rob Burrow, who's died at the age of 41. And Mexico has its first female president as former energy scientist Claudia
Eddie who,
Sheinbaum
mate?
is elected by a landslide.
TV trauma. The disability logo looks very similar to the IG Farben company logo. Who are they? Gigi?
Hello, a very warm welcome. I'm Marianne Mashiri. Well, it's the start of the second full week of general election campaign.
I want to
The
hang
Conservatives
myself.
say if they're re-elected, the party of national
Conservatives say
security
they know they're not
contact
getting
talking about a lot
re-elected, so fucking... Now you can tell this guy's a proper British gent because he ain't get his teeth fixed.
That the law requires updating. Specifically,
I very
Kemi
rarely
Badenoch,
say
who's
this,
the
but this
Equalities
guy
Minister,
could do with some
says
turkey
that she
teeth.
wants to
Turkey
change
teeth.
the law to make clear that references to sex refer to
biological sex. I think biological sex at the time of birth, although in some cases people will have gender recognition certificates and that might change things. And the kinds of settings...
Oh, Lord, the fucking Lord, man. Here's the simple thing, right? Here's the simple thing. Just make the law equal to every cunt. Right? If you want to say you've got Kendall parts or whatever, back the fuck in. Under the law, which is the only thing that counts legally when in such engaging with society, that's all that fucking counts. Right? So apart from that, and then again, under the law, girls and boys' toilets. Anyway, this isn't rocket science. This is like right to keep people entertained as the Western military-industrial complex genocide the fucking Hamas.
The Conservative campaign say this would affect our female-only spaces like certain hospital wards.
You've told us.
Oh, hold on, never reading.
Labour say they would do so when circumstances allow, so not with a specific date.
Okay. Henry, as always,
okay,
good
Tiff.
to speak to you. Thank you. How they
Nothing
If they
says
engage
news.
more with younger voters, I'm more inclined to listen to what they have to say. I'm very...
Hey, and you look like you're getting led around by the fucking nose. Quite literally, man. All it needs a wee hook. Oh my god. No. 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 Shall not make jokes.
Really interested in what we're doing for environmental change and also
Fight the
education.
urge. Fight the urge.
There's potholes everywhere.
That's Glasgow? No, maybe not. Oh, hold on, what's that? Let's see if I
present
it was in
government
Glasgow.
go, but I think the country as a whole is
Pretty
ready
much
for a
all
change.
fucking city centres look the same.
To be quite honest, I just think, what's the point?
I think everybody wants to change. Everybody's fed up with the way things are going. I mean, where I live,
that is
there's
Glasgow.
potholes everywhere.
I'm no Glasgow Primark anywhere.
businesses run. A suggestion for where we should campaign.
Defiance
Right.
of the odds.
Right, no, they've went from
inspiration.
the election
words
stuff,
of
which you
Kevin
could go
Sin-
at. Right, okie dokie. Pig in a pokey. I get the election stuff. People might think that's news and interesting, and people are still swaying about who to vote for. But look where they go to after that, ignoring everything else that's going on in the world that we just see. For shit bombs, the Mexican election, the Indian election, stuff that's stuff that actually means
Tribute
stuff.
to his friend and former rugby league teammate Rob Burrow, who's died.
The
at age
death
of back.
of a... I mean, brilliant, more power to him, man. Probably had a better life than most.
So you
Right.
Is very much somebody's written on his awareness incidents hand.
Right now, what time is that? It's 15 minutes, and they've told you.
Constant foot.
Yes, we've came to a very good decision. Men should go to men's bathrooms, and women should go to women's bathrooms. And by we mean that, your fucking genitalia. They've actually come out with it. I had to specify it. The genitalia you're born with. The gender you're born with. It's still implying that you can change gender. You can't change gender. You can fucking mutilate your body. You can take all sorts of pills, lotions and potions. Your head can be at wherever it wants to be. That's your fucking personal decision. Anyway.
Foot traffic by doctors and nurses.
NHS.
So it was very difficult me to even sleep or rest because people were coming in and out pushing.
Some might think, oh, this is just this is just somebody in the NHS doing what's right and exposing how shite the NHS is. Or you can think it's electioneering because we're in a process where everything's about the election pretty much now. In the sense that if you slag off the NHS, it's, what am I looking here, by proxy, maybe that's the wrong word. There's a word that I forgot. It's like a backhander insult to the Conservatives because they've been king of the ship for
the doors,
however long
banging
they
the
have
doors.
been.
Trolleys were coming through, knocking into me because I shouldn't have been there, really.
Regardless of where patients are not meant for treatment.
After Everett.
Since 20.
Waste company linked to a controversial £200,000 donation to the First Minister of Wales was under criminal investigation at the time of that donation. Vaughan Gething was given the cash during his return the donation.
Wow, this is really new.
Inescapable stench.
I wonder if somebody had the time and effort to go and scour through like British PoliTITS day and go through all those scenarios happening, and nobody's came to the conclusion the whole of politics is corrupt. It's not just these wee ones, bad apples, few bad apples, and remember, a few bad apples spoil the bunch. And I don't know, man, I'm lost count. I can't count them on my stumps. The amount of scenarios like that. I mean, the first thing that pops in mind is Sturgeon, Neil Hamilton. Just off the top of my head. That's me without Google.
That makes you rich.
And with no memory.
It's horrendous, it's rancid. It's almost like you can taste it.
Other people living nearby say the smell from the site is ruining their quality of life.
Yes.
Up until now, the questions for Vaughan Gething are focused on what one of his leadership controls
has not broken the ministerial code in taking the donation, and he retains the full backing of Labour's UK leader with only weeks to go before they ask the First Minister.
Well, you can watch Wales investigate. The former mayor of Mexico City had the support of the outgoing president. The election campaign was marked by unprecedented levels of violence, often carried out by organised crime gangs. Well, Ms. Scheinbaum has promised to reduce the violence and improve the lives of women in a country one of the world's highest rates of femicide. Well, our Mexico correspondent Will Grant has more on the significance of that result, as well as how the new president will work with the US administration.
We are at the point where
I just remember, right, here's something for you, right? See, when you're very young and impressionable, very young and fucking after your tits were... I still know fuck all when I knew even less back in the day, but just this scenario, the people that the people that I were putting on pedestals, you know, like fucking Ian Brown, who's the third guy? Richard Ashcroft, even the Oasis brothers to a certain extent, but they were a bit of a clown show. Yada yada yada. The people you put on the pedestal when you're younger. If somebody presented with me like that, here, and I thought they were the bee's knees because they were presented to me through the medium of music and all the footage and that, and it all looked cool as fuck and all that. And they're Charlie, they must be getting their whole all the time. So I was all in, right? Now, that's how I bought into that. Now, if somebody said to me, oh, here, hold on, you might not be who you are. You can be fucking Richard Ashcroft too. All I need to do is give you these pills and fucking change this, do that, and be a hair transplant or not. I'd have been all in. I'd have done it. Because I was young, stupid as fuck, and my idols were these people that were put on the pedestal for me. Now, there's a look, who's that? I'm presuming he's gay. No, he's a fucking Ken doll cunt. But he's... I don't even know his name. He's a big fat bastard, man. When you look good he doesn't look good as a woman or a man. Fucking Frankenstein's monster. And he's singing and songing and all that. And if there was a kid that looked up to him, and somebody went, here, hold on, you don't need to be yourself. You can be no Alan Carr, mate. No, it's the guy. He's a singer and songer, pop artist, and he wears all the fucking BDSM shit. He's been in Sam Smith. That's the one. Right, so imagine a young kid growing up and you always wanted to watch the 18s when you were 12, etc. So you want to watch the shit that you're not allowed to watch, and you start putting him on the pedestal and idolising him, and you're grown up, and then you hear all this shit in the media like, here, hold on, you don't need to be like that. You can be a Ken doll's part fucking thing as well. You'd be all in. And that's what's happening. It's not rocket science, but it's all about the money. I don't think it's a deep state Illuminati satanic conspiracy. I think it's just people trying to create an industry, and they're creating an industry and they don't give a fuck about the minions, the great unwashed. Anyway.
The country's electoral authorities have announced that Claudia Sheinbaum, the former mayor of Mexico City, is Mexico's first woman.
Right. There's no way I just half-heard that. She's now going, looks like she might be in the news for a wee couple of days or so. So I'm going to call her Claudia Schiffer. Is it Claudia Schiffer or Claudia Schiffer? Claudia Schiffer.
President, a piece of history, an extraordinary piece of history in a country which has been so dominated by men, by machismo in the political sphere for decades, centuries in fact. Here she has broken through, she's broken the metaphorical glass ceiling for generations of
vaginas
and girls in Mexico to come.
One of the vaginas.
But for her, this is a watershed moment, and for Mexico too. I think they'll look at her record in Mexico City and be buoyed by that in Washington. But of course,
again,
we'll have to see female.
I don't know any background about it, but
well, for the past year, BBC World Service's Eye Investigations and Panorama have been trying to find out more about what happened to her and whether she's even alive.
This coin is going to be #1 worldwide.
Right. This is going to be the last... Oh shit, did I just change the time there? I hope not. No, I didn't. This is going to be the last half on the half hour, the news, top of the hour news. After that, it goes into some sort of a side shit. They've not mentioned the word Gaza once. Or am I tripping?
Ruja Ignatova, who became known as the missing crypto queen, has been accused of
She may have been murdered.
It is depressing moment. Are the three main ones we knew.
Seriously, why is that fucking news? This is international. Well, I suppose this is kind of a British
to an
news.
unnamed man. Jackie was her head of Ignatova, but they came to...
Because the Conservatives have pledged to tackle the confusion, as they describe it, over the legal definition of sex by amending the Equality Act if they win the election. Let's cross...
You know what I mean? Legal definition of sex, it's never cheap.
It's live now. It's been announced today. Kemi Badenoch has the Equality Minister been...
I hope all these fucking idiots, they think they buy their own bullshit. Look at them, they're all pure so important with their own wee bossy. Why don't you just do it, right? Why don't the Green Party do their shit via, what's that fucking shit everybody was using during lockdown? Zoom. Instead of all this piss walking up and down like idiots, like, yeah, I put it to you, we need to see it through. You know? And I don't mind some cunt doing a lot of gesturing and all that when they speak. I think that's some of the most fun thing. But when you see politicians do it, man, you're like, hold on a sec, pal. That's choreographed. Don't, right, because they've all been told, don't fucking point, because that seems aggressive, and you don't want to fucking point. I point all the time. So they don't point. They go, I put it to you. If somebody was doing that to me, I'll go, I put it to boom. Anyway, let's go and look at the fucking finger bus.
Doing the rounds this morning. Tell us a bit more about what the Tories are putting forward.
Well, as you mentioned, what they are proposing is that if they are re-elected, they will amend the Equality Act to make it clear that the protections that are afforded, rather to make it places.
How many times do you need to say the same thing? Or is this just to show off you've got a bus?
Two of them. In the country's southeast, we have Lewis being targeted by the Liberal Democrats. Ground is in Lewis. What are people there, what are the signs pointing towards in terms of the Lib Dems taking the seat?
2015 record really affect and community.
I really couldn't give...
And there's a reason the
I
Conservatives
mean, like, you can go and watch this stuff if this is your thing, man. I can't listen to these talking holes saying all the same shit endlessly.
They accept this and they fully
here's this is the Joe Rogan show, look.
In what way? Because the invasion of Crimea, of course, is 2014.
We've had the full-scale invasion.
He didn't get the balding apple
of Ukraine. We've got
even get the balding
in the Middle East. We've got a growing
Middle East.
Alliance
No word of Gaza
between Russia, North Korea, Iran, and China. The world
apart from Joe Rogan,
far more dangerous. The threats
GG,
are
the
increasing.
crypto queen and all
this
that.
is
It's
why
pathetic,
the
isn't it?
triple lock guarantee is important. It matters because it's stronger. It's a stronger commitment that the Conservatives made, and it matters because one of the first things that David Cameron did as Prime Minister in 2010 was delay by 5 years the submarine building program for the new dreadnoughts. Now that's added hundreds of millions of cost, and it's also put extra pressure on the current crews.
Right, well that was what was said by Mr Healy on the Today programme. Let's cross live now and get a little bit more from the BBC's political
Oh
correspondent.
shit, that's why I've slipped back into they'll be doing what's meant to be news for the first half hour, and then the second half hour, just endless election shit. Right, now let's go and do RT, man. Oh. That's so stress you out with dead bodies.
a.m. here in the
Drunk
Russian
or
capital.
not drunk.
RT International. Let's take a look at the top stories this hour. Russia says Kiev's forces have lost 190 soldiers in just one day amid intense fighting in the Kharkov region. Moscow's troops have taken over a dozen localities and are currently battling for the strategic town of Volchansk. RT's Igor Zhanov was one of the first to visit the Russian military positions on that part of the front.
Oh, right, this is going to show
is
all
Volchansk, a border town in the Kharkov region where both Moscow and Kiev keep beefing up their garrisons. And now Russia has summoned here some of its most elite men to join the newly formed military group North.
My unit is currently stationed in this strategically important
area.
Rambo? Most of us have been transferred here, along with the Akhmat unit and other battalions and regiments formed
Russian
in
Rambo,
the Chechen
innit?
Republic. They're also here on this front, all deployed to complete specific tasks. The operational situation is completely under control. I believe we have concentration.
I believe we are the best in the world.
Amid a familiar landscape, one of the fighters is showing me a device I've been hearing about a lot, but for the first time it's lying before me. So here's a very interesting trophy. This is a sniper scope with thermal and night vision. It's connected with this cable to a monitor over here. When a Ukrainian unit has to retreat, they quickly tape the scope to a nearby tree or something, and then they fall back with this case. Then they can see everything that is going on their abandoned positions from kilometers away. And if you think that they go blind when the night falls, well, actually, they can see everything as bright as day.
He's fucking seeing cameras.
The working principle of this device is as follows. The cable is inserted into a special socket. When it is turned on, loading begins, showing temperature and battery percentage levels. While the device is loading, the monitor is also turning on. Once turned on, we wait for the signal, activate the device, and it takes a few minutes to activate.
I find this interesting.
Then we set it all up at the required angle. We switch to the mode we need, thermal imaging or night vision. Once the device is configured, you can comfortably observe the situation from a trench or fortified position. It can see up to 3 kilometers ahead and detect moving targets. Additionally, it has a recording function that can last for up to 8 hours.
Inventing new ways of going remote is something both armies are working hard
wasn't going remote,
every
it was
day.
a camera.
But in some aspects, strength can only be achieved in numbers. So, kamikaze drones have become an integral part of the conflict in Ukraine. And I'm being told that this amount, there's about 100 of drones here. Just one unit of the Akhmat Special Forces can use and send the enemy's...
Right, side note rant. Roberto, you're saying the mobile phone zombie apocalypse. It's very true, mate. I cracked my new mobile phone screen. But it still works. And then I fucking cracked it to the point where it wasn't working. And I had to resort to my old one. And see just I can't do mobile banking anymore. It's asking me for photographic ID and I can't get a picture of my fucking passport that they accept. It's a fucking nightmare. But I was thinking about this the other day, you know. See when you had over here it was 4 channels. In fact, it was 2 channels, then 3, then 4, then 5, and it stayed then 4 and it stayed that way for ages, then 5. Pretty much the same script worldwide. So right, long story short, back in the day when kids were sat in front of the TV and they only had that selection of one cartoon or the other, corporations would pay fucking fortunes to advertise on those cartoon things, and kids were only allowed or could sit in front of the TV for maybe an hour, couple hours or whatnot each day. So that advertising was dead important to get those messages in the kids' heads. Now we're all walking about with fucking literally getting those messages popped into your head, especially, I can't say this enough, see with the desktops, you can still put in ad blockers and stuff. See when you go back onto fucking pieces of shit like phones and all that, you're back to being fucking having shitty adverts that you don't really want shoved down your fucking throat. I notice it when I use, when I use YouTube on my phone. I get adverts, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm having to watch an advert for Charlie Reach to pop up. Whew. But it's the model, and it's the way it's going, and inevitably they'll move. The desktops will be a thing of the past. Even, what the fuck's this shitty one I'm rocking now? I think it's Windows 11 or latest one. I'm definitely gonna. I think I've still got. I forgot what numbers it is. I've got an old Windows there on my old. No, haven't I updated that, didn't I? Anyway, what I'm saying is all the operating systems on desktops are moving towards like a tablet forum, a tablet forum if you want to call it that, a phone forum of interface of OS. It gives you less options. You can't get you have less control. You're in their world. You're not got a computer and got an OS with hundreds of wee shit you can add on to do your bits and bobs. I would love to see somebody. In fact, don't prove me wrong because I know you could probably do it. But I would be lost trying to get onto Pirates Bay on my phone. I'd be very hard pushed to watch all the illegal football and shit that I stream on my phone. So this internet, which was a massive broad thing, they're now the Illuminati, just the people with power who have a vested interest and lots of money to fucking do this shit, and they want you. They want a more narrow. A narrow box that you're in, because if you're in a narrower box you've got less options, you can't go elsewhere, and then they can control the messaging a wee bit more, like they did back in the day, with a selective few amount of channels. So it's the world we're moving to. Kids nowadays as well, I don't do any children crave or want a desktop? Or is it all just the latest tablet? As long as they've got their social media crack cocaine's on the tablet, they're loving it. Or an iPhone or whatever pish it is dressed up the latest crap.
Way in a matter of 12 hours.
That's enough Ukrainian
Washington about disastrous consequences with the potential of an asymmetric response. The US has allowed Ukraine to fire long-range weapons from the Kharkov region to hit targets deep inside Russia.
One thing, justice is
Around
coming.
the middle of May, the Ukrainians faced with an incredible amount of pressure on Kharkiv, that town in the north of Ukraine, not far from the Russian border. They asked for some limited permission to use U.S.-supplied weapons against imminent threats just across the border. So we're talking about military emplacements, gun positions, that kind of thing, logistics, staging bases that the Russians were using to create some sort of buffer zone so that they could continue to pound Kharkiv. The president looked at that, talked to the interagency team, made sure he understood all the ramifications of the request, and then approved it.
Like
it is limited to the Kharkiv region,
seen this Russian
and it is
hooker I had
limited
last
with
night.
respect to the kinds of targets they can hit and how far back they can go.
Germany is one of the latest countries to give Kyiv permission to use its weapons to strike targets inside Russia. In total, 13 Western countries, including 11 in Europe, have agreed to that move. However, the decision has divided the continent, with several nations strongly opposing it. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban called on the EU to come to its senses and prevent a further escalation.
Where did China go to when it was over here in the EU?
Europe is preparing
Hungry.
for war today. They announced the opening of a new section of the road to hell every day. Every day we're bombarded with the idea of hundreds of billions of euros for Ukraine, nuclear weapons deployment in the heart of Europe, conscription of our sons into a foreign army, NATO mission in Ukraine, European military units in Ukraine. My friends, it seems that there are no brakes on the war train and the driver has gone mad. We need to pull the emergency brakes so at least those who want to can get off and stay out of the war.
Some politicians discussed the escalation of the conflict. Europeans marched in the Hungarian and German capitals, speaking out against NATO's role in Ukraine, particularly the decision to let Kyiv strike Russian territory with Western weapons. They said that controversial move makes NATO a direct participant in the conflict.
We've come here
Yeah,
for
listen
a
to the news
demonstration
with headphones,
against the
it makes
fact
it more
that
fun.
the German government has now decided to send weapons that can reach Russia inside the territory of Russia to Ukraine to be used against Russia. This makes
terrorist.
Germany also a partner in this war, which is
Oh,
very
Bods
dangerous
again.
for Germany, for Germans, and for the
Oh, he's Bods the Impaler.
We are in a place here in Central Europe where if any terrible process starts, we will unwillingly become the suffering parties of it. Therefore, as long as this can still be reversed and prevented from escalating, everything must be done.
Doesn't sound like some average Europeans are too happy
Now, see if
with
somebody
their
can
leaders
tell
moving
me.
around all these goalposts. German Chancellor Olaf
Is she
Scholz
always?
is saying
I'm
that
see,
Kiev
one day
can
I'm going to date
basically
myself.
do whatever it wants
Block
with
her
German
name.
weapons as long as it
I
sticks
should have done
to
it today, but
international law. And France has now also recently greenlit Kiev's use of French weapons to attack Russia, despite not even 2 years ago French President Emmanuel Macron
But remember,
going so
y'all,
far as to
we
say
are not
that
at war
even
with
if
Russia.
Russia nuked Ukraine, France wouldn't budge, citing strict rules and the
I think she would make a good
clearly
extra
defined
in
fundamental
Vikings.
interests of France. But just a few days ago, Macron was on a visit to Germany, standing in front of a crowd with a
Macron.
little map in his hand, arguing why French weapons fired from Ukraine need to be able to hit Russia. So at the same time as NATO leaders are pratfalling towards World War III, they're also gearing up for a so-called peace summit in Switzerland. Not that Russia's invited, though, because Zelensky says that any peace deal with Russia is just a trap. Kind of like those annoying things called elections, which Zelensky managed to dodge recently. Those are massive traps too, because you might just lose and end up out of power if you have one, and well, he wasn't going to be dumb enough to fall for that. So the optics of this peace summit are a bit of a dumpster fire, and China doesn't seem to want anything to do with it, which for Zelensky can only mean one thing, that China is just one big Kremlin stooge.
We're not positive about China's
Remember,
signal that they will not
China,
support and participate
Xi
in the
Jinping
peace summit. It is strange
went
and
to,
very painful for us
China.
that Russia, unfortunately, using China's influence in this region, using Chinese diplomats,
chairman,
is doing
Chinese
everything
chairman,
to
that's what
disrupt
they
the
call him, a
peace
chairman or
summit.
something. Anyway, the head
Unfortunately,
Chinese
such
guy
a large,
went to
independent
Ukraine.
and powerful country as China
Hungary,
is a
sorry.
tool in Putin's hands.
When he was over here in the EU,
In the
was that
dating
2
world,
weeks ago?
that's called negging. Trying to cut a solid 10 down to a 2 or 3 so you have a better chance with it. Then blaming the downgrade on the fact that they hang out with that one friend that you really don't like. All the little games haven't escaped the Russian Foreign Ministry's attention.
It was obvious that the NATO members were lying and putting up a smokescreen, making up a story that they had not yet decided whether or not to allow the Kyiv regime to launch strikes using Western weapons on Russian territory. In the same way, they mislead those they're trying to drag to the conference in Switzerland by telling tales about its peaceful settlement, classic NATO-style manipulation.
Manipulation? Macron
In
says
fact,
that
folk
they're
at home
doing,
have
quote,
not started smoking
strategic
crack, although it
ambiguity,
looks like it.
meaning that
Live
no one
on
can really see
YouTube.
what they're up to.
It's
Yeah, okay, Houdini.
bubble up
Seems
from
that
the feet.
lame magic tricks are the latest craze inside the clown tent.
That's the name of it. Where's the clown tent? It's the clown roadshow over here, hen. Everybody loves a clown nowadays.
Confused by its own
Clowns.
Ukraine.
what is
Europe
it, Clown World?
is quite divided at the moment, and my observation is that some of the countries are quite confused, actually, because...
Well, this is a... it's the Chinese Jackie Chan!
There is the keep launching of attacks against Russia from Ukraine, and if attacks into Russia's territory really happens, I mean, the consequences are quite obvious. Russia has made its position very loud and clear. I think Zelensky is both desperate and reckless.
GG, there's nothing
and is
new.
losing
There's
his
nothing new.
senses.
It's all
And
the
for
same
the upcoming
shit.
peace summit in Switzerland, China has made its stand very clearly that without Russia being part of this conference, how can you talk about peace? How can you promote peace without Russia being at the same table? So this is, I mean, it's quite obvious, actually. So, and I believe a lot more countries have also seen this.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has praised the national election as a victory of constitutional order. He called the voting process free, fair, credible, and peaceful.
No. So what time
The
is
country's
this
electoral
in Russia
commission
land?
says voter turnout was around 58%. The ruling African National Congress and main opposition Democratic Alliance Party dominated the field, although the newly formed MK party, here you can see in purple, they took control of the eastern provinces, which of course is headed by former President Jacob Zuma. Now, what's significant about all of this is that the ANC support has
White is right party that's still in
since
South Africa.
2019, where it had garnered around 57%. This time, just over 40%. Now, the Democratic Alliance received a fifth of those votes, with the MK in third place with a close 15%. Now, after losing its majority in Parliament, the ANC is seeking a party.
That map was enough to see.
the people to overcome.
Like all these, like a lot of these elections, I should say, that are happening or going to happen, everybody's having to make. This is why, in my opinion, the people should elect a fucking dictator, president, call him whatever you want, and then you don't need to deal with all this. Right, man, to rule, I need to fucking take some dick for the SNP. No, to rule, I need to take some dick for the Liberal Democrats. The Liberal Democrats are bouncing about acting like the kingmakers and all that now because we'll see how it pans out. But what a pathetic system. What a pathetic... I would have more respect for a system where the people democratically vote. A democratic vote is not the fucking... The democracy doesn't... The democracies that a lot of the world are under right now, they don't own that. Anybody can have it. Me, I can bounce... Me, I'm going to do on election day, I'm going to bounce out with my box and hold a democratic vote. Let's see what the fascist scum do. Hit me with a... Oh, fuck, I need to wear my hat. I might wear my suit. I might actually wear one. I might wear one of my suits. But I think I'm limited to one right now because I'm pretty sure that I'll need to go to the dry cleaners. Anyway, let's listen to this piss. The winning party has to suck the booby, the other party, so they get a majority in the house. Yeah, same shit.
Had a majority to elect its leader.
Well, that's the pro.
This time,
that's the pro white right guy.
So you have the three opposition parties
I knew they were
which
still
have
there.
combined share that is bigger than the ANC, which will definitely make the elections of a president tough. Not to mention forming some sort of a coalition, a government, because we heard the leader of the EFF, Julius Malema, saying that if there is a party that he is not afraid, or rather would prefer to work with, is definitely the ANC. and he prefers to form a coalition with the African National Congress. But also, you have other political parties who do not want to work with each other. The DA, in fact, saying that, for instance, former President Jacob Zuma was campaigning against the constitution and wants to make amendments to the law, which are questionable. Also saying that the DA stands for exactly the opposite of what the EFF stands for. The DA also repeatedly said that a potential union between the ANC and parties like the EFF could be disastrous for South Africa. Therefore, it has to prevent a coalition between the ANC, the EFF and the MK party.
Right, fucking hell.
ANC's
Look, there's the white is right.
Right now to central Gaza, where an overnight Israeli
drunker
airstrike is
than at
reported
the
to
top
have
of the
killed
hour.
6 people who were sheltering in the
I think you need to upgrade your figures, mate. I seen 7 on Al Jazeera.
Distressing images.
Oh, right.
Most of those
Why
killed
show it?
are the ongoing war. Now, the elderly women...
They should go like that, right? Last night, a hospital was attacked, killing 7 people. Some of our videographers, Ripley or whatever it used to be, we've bought some fucking footage to drip some of the dead bodies in front of you, so you can verify it for yourself, like you want to do with your fucking coffee in the morning, you know. But we're not going to show you it because it's very fucking distressing and see constantly. I don't think it's healthy for anybody. This stuff is available to small kids in the morning. If their mum and dad left the news, well, know this, but Al Jazeera, their mum and dads have left Al Jazeera on in the morning and they wake up and fuck's sake, man. You know what I mean? That's... Anyway, torn apart by war, as I'm going to show you.
By the IDF.
Felt
Yeah,
pain
it's
and
listening to the music in the
humiliation. The
background.
people's psyche.
I thought she was going to tell us how good she thought the IDF was. I was mistaken. No. Was that Tel Aviv?
Protesters called for an immediate ceasefire and the end of all the IDF hostilities in Gaza. The movement against Israel's prime minister has been growing in recent months. Increasingly more people have been hitting the streets to speak out against the war.
Just as short.
In the latest episode of Going Underground, a former IDF Special Forces member, Miko Peled, whose grandfather signed Israel's Declaration of Independence, says the current situation could lead to the end of the country. That interview will air throughout the day here on RT International, but here's a quick preview.
Your grandfather famously was one of the 37 who signed off the creation of Israel. Do you think now we are watching the beginning of the end of Israel?
I do think that the potential is there. I think the potential for the end of Zionism is there, and the recognition around the world of Zionism, that there should be zero tolerance to Zionism because it is a racist, genocidal ideology that produced a racist, genocidal state. So I think if we do our job as people of conscience around the world, then we will see an end to this very sad chapter in the history of Palestine, and there will, again, it'll collapse and a real free Palestine will emerge.
How will Israel react as it seemingly loses this war against Hamas, or some members of the resistance who are clearly surviving, while the women and children and civilians, men, are being slaughtered?
I don't think Israel's objective is to defeat the Palestinian resistance. I think Israel's objective is to kill as many Palestinians as possible. And in that, they've been very successful. So when people say Israel is losing on that front, I have to question that, because the objective is not.
See, from a very cold-hearted Machiavellian way, if you wanted to defeat a people, man, the civilians would be targets, or genuine targets, because if you leave them there, they're going to breed and create the next army. And I don't even think, I think that's what we're witnessing, but you witness that in most wars, because I don't see Israel and the West winning over the hearts and minds of anybody that's left over in that area at any time soon. This is going to be perpetual warfare.
To defeat the resistance. I don't think anybody thinks it's even a realistic expectation that will ever happen.
So it's extermination.
But it's extermination. It's genocide. It's the Holocaust. They want to execute a complete Holocaust against the Palestinian people, and they're doing it, as we can see, without any interruption.
Roberto, mate, you're right. Anywhere you go in the world, unless you're fucking running about going la 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 or whatever, they provoke motherfuckers. You're typically good in the hood. Typically, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying there's places where it isn't fucking for whatever reasons, but in the civilised world, if you want to put it that way, most people are good in the hood, just going about their business. How you conduct yourself, nowhere near.
Right, stateside now, the US Republican Party is set to nominate Donald Trump as its presidential candidate, despite his recent conviction on felony charges. Now, that's according to a senior official, as the party doubles down on its support for the former president and expresses outrage over the verdict. RT correspondent Caleb Morpin has the details.
Outrage from Republicans about Thursday's verdict has not been limited to just words on the internet. At this point, we've got 8 U.S. senators who just sent a letter to the White House saying that the upper house of the U.S. Congress is more or less going on strike. They are going to stop almost all legislative activity in response to what they see as a politicized prosecution.
Strongly worded statements are not enough. Those who turned our judicial system into a political cudgel must be held accountable. We are no longer cooperating with any Democratic legislative priorities or nominations, and we invite all concerned senators to join our stand.
Just a few months ago, Vivek Ramaswamy dreamed of running the country. Now he's busy shunning it.
I just got to Italy. I was traveling here while the Trump verdict came down, and I
Rookies have them fucking odds
when
on,
people
man.
here ask me what the heck is going on in your country, I'm ashamed. If this were happening in another country, and we in the United States heard about a party in power that was using prosecutorial force to bring fake charges against a leading opponent in the middle of an election, we would call it step of a banana republic. And yet now that's us. This is the stuff of how nations declines.
Now, Democrats are sticking to their mantra, saying that this is just an example of American blind justice, but some sense a bit of cynicism behind their words.
He's got one of the most annoying
that no
American
one
accents
is above the law was reaffirmed.
Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir?
So what are some of the legal issues with the trial? Why are people questioning its validity? Well, first of all, falsifying business records is generally considered to be a misdemeanor, not a felony. No one's ever been imprisoned for it. It looks like Donald Trump got a rather exceptional interpretation of the law. The second issue was that the judge told the jurors there was no need for unanimity among them about what crime Donald Trump actually committed. He said that all 12 jurors could be divided evenly, 4, 4, and 4, and Donald Trump would still be found guilty. Now, what sense does that make?
This prosecution was for a very bizarre crime that only exists in the state of New York. It doesn't exist in any of the other 49 states. The federal constitution requires that when the government prosecutes you in federal or in state court, you're entitled to know what you're charged with, and you're entitled to know the evidence against you. And you can only be convicted if the jury agrees unanimously on all the elements of all the charges. But in this case, the statute permits the jurors to disagree on what the underlying crime was.
Now, the judge himself seems rather non-impartial. He's actually donated to the Democratic Party, and in 2020, during the elections, it was pretty clear he wanted Donald Trump out of office.
This judge committed multiple elements of reversible error, and he did it while his daughter has made a ton of money off of Democratic candidates, and while he himself donated to the Biden campaign.
So let me repeat the question.
You cannot say that this trial was
Colonel
anything
Sanders
more
for the news
than
world.
politics masquerading as justice.
Now, many are comparing this to Bill Clinton's legal settlement with Paula Jones. She was paid over $850,000 to shut up. Now, that's a lot more than Stormy Daniels allegedly received, but there were no criminal charges filed.
All right, Doberman.
Here's Paula Jones publicly getting paid off from Bill Clinton, proudly displaying her check. This is America's two-tier justice system. She was paid $850,000 by then President Bill Clinton to settle her claim of sexual assault.
So what happens next? Does Donald Trump get to run for office from house arrest or jail? He's sentenced on July 11th. What if he wins?
No, I want to see
walk
that.
out of jail automatically as a result of being president? The Constitution is not clear on these matters. It's pretty clear that the founding fathers did not anticipate such circumstances.
Honestly, man, I was feeling. I thought the world was bleak for a fucking for a bit there. Now, when is the American election? November.
Want him to quit. And while the whole world
yeah,
is laughing
baby.
at the US legal system, Donald Trump seems to be getting only more support. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Americans get one speaking like this. It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Great stories there. We'll be back at the top of the hour.
Right, is that them done for? They'll be back at the top of the hour. That's them finished. Right, so see what Sky News, different flavour of the UK jobby supper. Is it working? Nope. Got it muted or some shit. Right, now I need to go. Oh, no, that is muted. Oh! Got some live melted welly boots on our screen now.
Some gave their lives so we could live
listen,
freely.
I'm just going to.
Others returned home to build a new Britain.
Oh, yes!
We salute those who remain with us today.
I met Joe in the pub the other night. He had a glass eye and a wooden leg. His little girl had leukemia. And our hamster was swallowed by a hoover. I said, I put it to her. I put it to her. We need to build better, stronger, change. And maybe your hamster wouldn't get fucking
because sadly the world we
sucked
live
up
in
with the
today
hoover.
is perhaps more dangerous and volatile.
Ah,
than at any
fuck
time
you, you
since
fear-mongering fucking Wellington
then.
boot.
And frankly,
Aye, I'm not going to be able to do much of this. Oh, do you know we'll fuck off to Germany and France, man? Might get some, like, kinda West Europeanish news away from all this pish. What else kicked in? It's kicked
Last
out.
October have been remembered at events around the world today, including in London. 121 people are unaccounted for after being kidnapped, and at least 37 of them are assumed to have died. Molly Malone spoke to some of the people who attended the protest in London.
I was wondering what happened there. I was like, I could listen to her read the news all day, man.
They are the voice of those who can't use their own.
The fucking DVR thing kicked us out. What's that all about? Only went in 18 minutes ago. Right, there we go. Top of the hour. Top of the morning to you. It's weird how this. Have you covered the stabbing? No, Barry. What's happening, man? No heard anything about it. Do you know what? I'll stick on the German news later. In the meantime. Yes, good.
This is Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. It's 10 o'clock. Your headlines.
Wilfred!
Nuclear triple lock, Sir Keir Starmer underlines his commitment to defence spending if Labour gets into power. Ending confusion around sex and gender, the Conservatives pledged to shake up the Equality Act.
It is not, as many people assume, a change. It is re-emphasising what should be the status quo.
Also today, Mexico elects its first ever female president. Nurses declare a national emergency in the NHS, warning patients are dying in hospital corridors. And remembering Rob Burrow, work starts on a new
The exact same shite for it that was on the BBC. Wilfred!
The general election getting underway this morning with confusion around sex and gender.
Right,
These
let me
are
get this
today's
right.
main
The
developments
BBC
so far,
started
the
with
Conservatives are pledging to end what they say
stammers.
is
Oh no,
confusion
I'm getting confused now, and it's not
about
about my
access to
gender.
female-only spaces.
Yep,
Business
not
Secretary Kevin
confirmed.
Baynock told Sky News that Tories would change the
All right,
Equality Act
Nunes
to
Flower,
clarify
how you
that
doing, man?
sex
They're making a
means
mockery of
biological
justice.
sex.
You
Meanwhile,
talking about
Labour
with the
leader Sir
Trump
Keir
thing,
Starmer will
Nunes?
put defence and national
Missed that.
security at the heart of Labour's election pitch to voters during a visit to Manchester this morning. Sakir will commit to a triple lock on nuclear deterrence and to increasing defence spending to 2.5% of GDP. And the Liberal Democrats will today call for rivers to be given protected status,
an
which would set
anti-Islam
legally binding
protest
targets to prevent sewage dumping.
So who
Deputy
gets
Leader
stabbed
Desmond
and for
Cooper
what
will be
reason?
in Henley on Thames to meet local activists. Well, as we wait for Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer to start his speech in Manchester this morning, let's take you through what Labour's triple lock on nuclear deterrence actually means. A commitment to construct 4 new nuclear Dreadnought-class submarines in Barrow and Furness, due to replace the current Vanguard class in the 2030s, maintaining Britain's continuous at-sea deterrent, and the delivery of all future upgrades is needed for the submarines to patrol the water. The Conservative...
I do need to go for a hit and a miss. But what we'll do is try and get old Deutschland up. This is the live one. It is the right soup I'm looking for 20 minutes ago. On the button.
This is DW News live from Berlin. Severe flooding hits Germany. One firefighter dies while trying to rescue residents trapped by rising waters. Thousands of people have already been forced to leave their homes. Also coming up, Claudia Sheinbaum becomes Mexico's first female president according to preliminary results. Millions have voted in an election overshadowed by drug violence and the murder of dozens of political candidates. And Israel's Prime Minister is under growing pressure to accept a Gaza ceasefire plan. Activists want Benjamin Netanyahu to agree a deal to free the hostages, but far-right hardliners say Hamas must be destroyed first. I'm Biresh Banerjee. Welcome. Severe flooding in southern Germany has left at least one person dead and several thousand forced to evacuate their homes. A state of emergency is in force as heavy rains and floods batter the region. The Danube River burst its banks and a passenger train derailed when the weight of water triggered a landslide. More downpours are forecast in some of the worst hit areas.
The amount of items that have to be thrown out is huge. Heidi Wild is a resident of Diemelstadt. Her house was hit hard by the floods. The basement was completely flooded. She had 10 minutes to evacuate on Saturday evening. She is still in shock about what happened.
It was really bad.
Right, I'm presuming
I was taking care of my daughter's dog.
flooding,
They said
so they're not
if we don't
touching on
finish
it then, are
packing,
they?
we will have to leave the dogs behind. It just wasn't acceptable for
Germany,
me. It was a
stabbing.
catastrophe.
Luckily, she could save herself and her pets. Now, the cleanup has started. Many people have come to help.
When did this happen?
Even if you always say every man for himself, but in this case, everyone was there to help. Everyone really helped. So I can't say anything bad about that.
Mannheim.
There is still a lot of work to be done.
So it was 2 days ago.
At her
German
neighbour's home
anti-Islam activist, that's a
Tobias
Tommy
Brownmiller
Robinson dude,
invites us
injured
into
in
his
knife
house.
attack. How bad is... Well, it's on the BBC,
Everything
so
was
it
full
can't
of
be that
water here,
bad.
right up to here.
Hey, hold on.
And everything's now broken.
It's the Germans, they're not talking about it anymore. So is there volume on this bad boy? Right, so who's who here? Alright, seen that, it's clocked that. So there's been a wee fucking Arab turned up with a knife. They stabbed the Tommy Robinson mob. That's what's like the wee black guy's getting wrestled to the ground there. The other dudes are walking up and then he's bounced up with a knife and they're all fucking off back. So like they've cut out the good They've cut out the good bit, thankfully. But it does give you a bit... That's news that gives you context to what actually happened. Right? Not just 7 were injured, here's the fucking corpse. You know what I mean? Anyway, I digress. So... Fucking hell, man. I need to... My eyes are fucked. Right, man has attacked 6 people. Right, so you could tell that was 1, 2, at least 3 or 4 he was wrestling with. And then the cops turned up, 6, because the cop would have been in the vicinity of this shit. And then another dude. So that's pretty much the rammy that's happened there. The knife looked like a fucking 5-inch at maximum, man. But anyway, let's hear. One of the injured was an anti-Islamic Shai Goldberger at the square, according to his group. So I'm assuming the group is those motherfuckers that are at the wee stall and all that, selling their Nazi memorabilia. Straight from the teat. Right. Not too soon. Too soon. Shh. Oh shit, the incident was caught on a YouTube live stream that showed the attack. Oh, God bless the YouTube, eh? Was that Charlie Veach? Officer, man, and then a police officer who went to help the officer is in a critical condition. Is there bigger and badder and better footage out there on the interwebs, I would imagine? The full version. If that was streamed live on the boob tubes, the content was on the boob tube would have been like, right. A sensible thing, mate, would be to make it private. And then put it into a... Here's a tip for... Sensible thing to do is make it private. Get the tickly bit, but hold back, get at the tickly bit. You've got some footage that's going to make you want to explode, but hold back, get that into some editing software and then put your name, logo or watermarked all over the fucking top of it. Boom! In the room. And then release it to the interwebs wild like. That's what I would have done. But you wouldn't find me live streaming at Tommy Rob. Looking Lion came in yet? No. Just did a search on Googles. Right, I've missed a wee bit here. But anyway, so what happened, it was live streamed on YouTube. He was shot by the cops. He looked like a wee Palestinian Arab dude there, which would make sense him turning up to one of those things and taking a knife with him. At the same time, Citizens Movement, so it's like BPE, so it's a wee bit like a British. Just trying to see if there's. Local newspaper, injured 6, including 5. So he did. Member of public maybe rocked in to stop it, and then the cop. Aye, so the full shebang's got to be out there. If you want it, I'm sure you will find it, man. Let me just check. The police attacked the guy that tried to stop the knife attacker first to protect the Muslim. Doberman, I'm not saying that you didn't hear that on the grapevine, but is that spin, let's say? The whole video will be out there. I'm pretty sure the whole video will be out there, Doberman. So, but maybe, man. I don't know if you're just joking around, buddy. He was walking around. It was not a serious injury. I didn't know that. Rumble, BitChute, 4chan, probably still have it. Cops responded too slow if they are real cops. Aye, they didn't clock it, didn't they, no? Surely if you're at a Tommy Robinson rally and there's a wee mischievous looking fucking Muslim turn up, man. Don't worry though, because other whites will call you a racist for caring. The footage of the attack is on YouTube. Fuck, do you know what? I've really got no want to go and watch it. That wee short version shows you kind of the context, like it's all out there for everybody to see, and then everything else is spin and conjecture. You know, something like that's happening. You don't know what the fuck to do. You go to fucking protect your mates. You see a knife, you're like, shit. Oh fuck knows, man. The guy didn't look. He looked like he was like that. Well, in fact, he looked like he was trying to plunge the guy that was coming from. But anyway, strange the Germans stuff. Let's see, because that's a couple of days old. Maybe that's why. Oh shit, I forgot to pause that, but that's not a problem. Hopefully, probably will be.
Flooding hits Germany.
Muddy, that's right.
And Israel's
Muddy.
Prime Minister is
Mexico.
under growing pressure to accept a Gaza ceasefire
Touch on
plan.
Gaza.
Activists want Benjamin Netanyahu to agree a deal to free the hostages, but far-right hardliners say Hamas must be destroyed.
Does anybody know anything any more about the sort of inside politics of Mexico? Apart from probably all of it's fucking related to cartels. This is just what I learned for the movies, the documentaries.
I'm
I
Girish
watch
Banerjee. Welcome.
about
Severe
Mexico.
flooding in southern Germany has left at least one person dead and several thousand forced battered the weight of areas.
Partly flooded evening.
Don't finish. Even
her neighbor asked
Everything's now. The cellar here.
the basement.
See with 24-hour news, it really is. Well, in fact,
DW reporter Tessa Walter sent us that report. She's in Bavaria.
not admittedly,
on the situation
it
in
wouldn't
the areas
be.
worst
But
hit by the
apparently, with 24-hour news, the advent of it, maybe they're as much to blame as social media, by the way. It's very easy to paint a picture of a fucking apocalyptic world.
So this how difficult where they can
Very, 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 very easy. You know,
victory over her nearest rival. A former
Mexico.
mayor of Mexico City looks set to win a double-digit
former
victory
mayor,
over her
so she's
nearest
went from mayor
rival,
to
who
fucking
has
top dog
already ceded
all
defeat.
over the gaff.
This is
All right,
Mexico's largest general election in history, but it's been marred by violence involving drug
Deutschland.
cartels, with at least 37 political candidates murdered during the campaign. In her victory speech, Sheinbaum thanked her supporters.
I am also grateful that I will become Mexico's first
Arriba,
woman
arriba.
president in 200 years since the founding
I'll care
of the Republic.
when the taco prices go through the roof.
DW correspondent Nicole Reese has been following the story for us in Mexico City. She told us why a woman being elected president in Mexico was so significant.
This is huge. It is historic. It ends centuries of male domination in the highest political office of the country.
It's easy to
For
get
many women here in
cunts
Mexico, this is
with,
obviously also something that makes them hope that
hiding
things could
behind
change
the
in their country, that makes them
vaginas.
proud, that shows them that there is actually a
Oh, was it
possibility
this
for
dude's
them
live stream?
to have a say in how the country is developing and how it's
3
going
months ago,
forward,
4 months.
because we are looking at a country where around 10 women per day are being killed, are being murdered. We are looking at a country with a very high crime rate. This is a gender-based violence
you've
that
lost
we're
us a wee
talking
bit there.
about.
How's
It's actually also called the
Is
silent
that your channel?
epidemic
Is
here
that
in
what you mean,
Mexico,
buddy?
and that is something that obviously
That's what you
with
mean, I
the
don't know.
female leaders, many hope will
On
somehow
our
change.
right.
We just don't know
She's
if
done
it
something
actually will
just
change because,
recently.
as I said earlier, Sheinbaum will also follow in the
Zombie
footsteps
Land.
of her party of the
I'm a
outgoing
wee bit lost,
government
buddy,
as
so
well,
I'll get back
and
to it.
the
Send us an
outgoing
email or
government
whatnot.
hasn't been able to manage
Or a
this matter
Skype.
very well. If not, we would be talking about much less victims of violence or of killings here.
TV
Mexico.
correspondent Nicole Rees speaking to me earlier. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky has met with Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in Manila. The Ukrainian president is making a rare visit to Asia. He's been urging leaders to attend a
I want to touch and press
conference
TV,
that's
but I
set to take
don't,
place
because
in
you know it's
Switzerland
just going to be wall
later
to
this
wall
month.
dead babies.
And South Korea
The
says
shit
it is
bombs.
suspending a military agreement intended
Best
to
story of the day, shit bombs. So if you're sitting there thinking, how can I get at somebody, learn the weather patterns and shit in a bag and and attach it to a balloon.
reduce tensions with North Korea after the North sent scores of trash-filled balloons over the border. Pyongyang has said it will stop sending them as long as
That
South
isn't a
Korean
shitty one.
activists cease spreading propaganda leaflets.
Oh, we'll shit on you until you stop the
International
leaflets.
mediators are calling on
Hey,
both
hey, how
Israel
you
and
doing?
Hamas to agree to a ceasefire proposal put forward by US President Joe Biden. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is under
Barry, I can't
intense
mind
domestic
that, mate.
pressure.
But it
Some
wouldn't
want
surprise
him
me.
to reach a
Mexico
truce and
seems to
secure
be
the immediate
always
release
mad
of
as
hostages
mad as
taken
hell,
by
don't it?
Hamas during their October 7th attack. But Netanyahu's far-right allies are threatening to bring down the government if he does so.
Since the beginning of the war, Netanyahu has insisted on the total destruction of Hamas.
GG,
He
it
has
wouldn't
carefully
surprise me,
avoided
man.
defining any clear timeline for ending the conflict or any discussion of the
If you
day
go on-
after in Gaza.
It's a lot of I know
But
Netflix
now,
creates
his hand
reality
may have
nowadays,
been forced
but they do a lot of
by a
stuff on the
truce
ground with
proposal
the real
forwarded by
narcos and
US
all that.
President
No,
Joe
no, the
Biden.
real narcos. That's the people who are
The
fighting
deal
them.
would bring a permanent
But you know
ceasefire
what
in
I'm
Gaza
talking about.
in exchange for the remaining
And
hostages
as much
held
as it's
by
put
Hamas.
on or can be set and all that
the
kind of
US
stuff,
stresses the
it
plan
gives you
is
a
not
rough
theirs.
idea of what's going on in
This
those
was an
areas,
Israeli
you know?
proposal. We have every expectations that if Hamas agrees to the proposal, as was transmitted to them, and is
Right, the fact it's an Israeli proposal tells me Hamas isn't going to agree to it, and this is another bullshit spinning out of the time frame, because Hamas will find something in it that they just can't agree to. You know, like a release of full hostages up until before phase 2 or some shit like that, and then Hamas will reject that, and now they're the bad guys again because Hamas done that to Israel. God, man, I've not watched this shite in a week. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The British press is useless. Useless. It's just... It's not even politics. It's no news. It's a
Israeli
farce.
proposal, that Israel would say yes.
Oh, I get it now. Because if the turnout in this election turns out to be as pathetic as a lot of people are predicting, they can't standing in those funny costumes, in those beautiful buildings, declaring that they've got the consent of us to rule and govern and police us. Their claim isn't looking that fucking strong anymore. And I've not got my backing. I've held my, like, this will be my third general election that I've held on. And this is all in legalese, people. I'm telling you, like, the police can hit you over the head and drag you away, but you need to go through the court systems for them to lock you away. The court system is all based on the fucking the law of God. That's where they get their authority from. It's no, I'm better than you. It's all locked up in the fucking gods. They're fucking trying to say that they're putting God's law into play. And if you can take away their authority, if you can just not consent to it. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the general election.
While Hamas says it views the proposal positively, Netanyahu's far-right allies are furious.
It is a reckless deal. There is no total victory except a total defeat for Hamas. I say that if Prime Minister Netanyahu continues to lead this deal, we will dismantle the government.
The ultimatum
sounds
has
good.
left the Prime Minister facing a stark choice, and the clock is ticking. Last month, one of the members of Israel's three-man war cabinet, Benny Gantz, delivered an ultimatum of his own. Gantz gave the government until June 8th to come up with a plan for the future in Gaza.
What line did you go
or
down
he'll
to the
withdraw
Cockfest?
from the government. The
Down in
pressure is mounting
London?
on Netanyahu, and it's coming from all sides.
So the pressure is also building on the Netanyahu government to show it has a plan for what happens in Gaza after the war. I asked correspondent Rebecca Ritters.
Here's the thing, a kind of good point, Luton. But here's the thing, right? People always ask, where's the social contract? Where's my signature to be governed by you? Where is the social contract with the public? Now, back in the day when voting started, most people couldn't sign their fucking name. So the government only asked you to stand up and put your X, which is the signature of an illiterate fucking idiot, on the voting ballot. So that ballot creates a contract between you and whatever system they can impose upon you. Right, so even if you spoil your ballot, sorry, I don't know if that's what you meant, Luton, even if people who are going, spoil your ballot, go in there and write, I don't really like anybody because you're all really mean, and then they will have to read that message, get it round you, take your vote away, because then you don't, that's a spoiled ballot is counted towards the turnout. If you look at the stats after it, they'll tell you a turnout, and that's only the people that are registered to vote. I can't wait to crunch these numbers, man. I cannot fucking wait. You won't be able to do it on the night, because they're all like that with all their mathematicians up a bit, down a bit, left a bit. How many votes in each box, you fucking idiot? Let me get my abacus out. Anyway. Were you there, Luton? How was it? Was that where that Charlie Veitch footage was? Was Charlie Veitch confronted? Was Charlie Veitch there? I bet you Charlie Veitch was there. You know what? There'd been a cockfest for all the... Oh, I bet you all of them were there, actually, man.
One serious option that is being touted by the United States. For one, certainly that's what they're saying they'd like to see in a post-war Gaza. That
bet she had fun looking. It would have been a good day out, man. Stayed away from all the
could then govern
craziness if there was
the
some.
West Bank and
I've not watched
the
any
Gaza
of them.
Strip. Currently, obviously, as we know, they don't govern in Gaza, but they do govern
Cromwell,
in the
did
West
he,
Bank.
buddy?
There are
Well, he did take his money through the city of London to go and take over Northern Ireland, and that's to reclaim that area of the world. That's how they funded that.
In general, so that's why the US are calling for them to be revitalised.
Literally failing.
You know, Benjamin Netanyahu has said he does not see that as the option. Yoav Gallant has criticised Benjamin Netanyahu for not coming out with a post.
That was less a frog in my throat and more of a cock.
That it's irresponsible, that they need to be making a plan. He's certainly against establishing Israeli civilian control in Gaza. That's something that Gallant has said
it was
he
a
does
total
not want
nightmare.
to see, and he is all for
that
Palestinian entities
I'm not
governing.
interested in this shit. Why was it a night? It was a nightmare. Whoever invented boats is to blame for the mess in the world. I blame the Vikings, mate. Cringe, desperate casuals. Pretty much, man. Craig, do you have an actual day job? Not a day one, man. But I keep myself busy, don't worry. You see, people, they came from the sea. I mean, life isn't that bad if you're in your flat gaff and flipping your gums on the internet, no. Well, I don't think life's that bad, man. I'm looking forward to the Trump election and watching it all. If they're going to I think Trump's going to go to jail, and it'll be one of the funniest fucking things to watch in the world. And he'll be electioneering over one of those fucking American style things in the fucking oh man, it's going to be amazing. Right, I managed to... Anyway. Check your heed, indeed it is. By the way, we're making a breakthrough. What? But we are making a breakthrough. Even the Met are starting to worry about us. Demonic eyes to show. So why was it a shit show, Luton? Why was it a nightmare? Just the amount of people that turned up or whatever. I've not seen any of the footage. I've seen Charlie Veitch and a guy fucking fighting each other with their mobile phone, phaser guns. Bow, 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 bow. Charlie Veitch walking about with a big fucking, that stupid frog fucking, oh man. And then see Charlie Veitch away from on his edited footage. He is a fucking reject of this planet. I've honestly never seen so much of other people's footage of Charlie Veitch. If you get me, you know, the footage that Oh my god. For the BBC's the Donald goes to jail and we will all kick off. Got a few slaps a bit in Armandale. Did he no manage to get his big lanky legs and push them away? Charlie Veach isn't your lad. Well, he's got Tommy's cup down his throat right now. But I know the game. I mean, Charlie Veach got arrested for fucking vandalising a BMP van or something back in the day. And now he's sucking Tommy Robinson's dick. But he's their own. But in essence, I know what he's doing. He's getting in floating voters, isn't he? You put Tommy Robinson's name on your video. You need to say you love him, otherwise there's going to be a tide of hatred come your way. As I will fucking know, man. Well, the fucking mass windy like in the online army will come after you if you fucking say bad about the cult leader Tommy. Hid behind his phone like, I caught that GG. He was like, and then that other guy had to defend him, and that's when Charlie grew a set of balls. So, well said, sir, well said, sir. You're like, why didn't you say it yourself, you fucking dick? Anyway, you go back to the genesis of that big lanky prick, Charlie Veach, and ask him about Ian Tomlinson. That's it. Ian Tomlinson, how did you see he had tattoos on when he was head to tail and fucking clothes? You're fucking riddled with tattoos. He used that same, you smell like drink. I see you fucking came here turned up drunk. What? A Tommy Robinson rally and you might find a drunk guy with a camera. Stone me, Charlie. You're finding the truth, mate. You're really documenting good shit. And he said, that's what he said about Ian Tomlinson as well. And by all accounts, he just finished work. And even if he was pawing to a wee fucking drink and he was getting mad with doing his job, he was walking home, after having some sherbets and his, it's beyond me. And if anybody is new, if anybody hasn't heard of Charlie Veach and Ian Tomlinson, IAN Tomlinson, stick that into your Googles and you'll find fucking, God man, I think I've cracked a bit of my fucking elbow. I'm pretty sure there's a wee bit of fucking foreign matter floating about in there. I'll see what happens. Ian Tomlinson into your Googles and YouTubes and you'll find that. Anyway, let's get back to round specs.
In areas along with international bodies, but we'll just have to see what happens. He hasn't specified whether he means those governing entities to be the Palestinian Authority, but that is a very unpopular option for the Israeli government.
That was DW correspondent Rebecca Ritter speaking to me earlier from Jerusalem. You're watching
like see
after the break. It's
the events and the people that go there. I would have a whaley of time just as long as it wasn't all that political shite.
Football, but is facing hostility.
Or supposed saving the world for Islam stuff.
I'm Biresh Banerjee in Berlin. Thanks
Tommy's
so much
already
for
said
watching. We're back again in about 4.
By his own admission that his goal is to warn against the dangers of Islam. So it's not even politics, it's theology that he's fucking into. You know what I mean? Hiding behind politics, hiding behind freedom of speech. But don't mention the name Charlie Veach. Well, better tell Charlie that, Luton. Aye, Charlie, he's out there singing, talking about him for the shouting about him from the hillsides, the hilltop. There's some saying that I'm trying to get out that I'm stumbling over. Mate, you only live once, and if you die without saying you've had a few stupid haircuts in your life, well, you've not really lived. But I get you, man. But like it's only here. It'll grow fucking back. And see, the strange thing is, see if you like look at somebody and you go, right, that's the hair they've got, and then it changes. You go, that looks fucking weird. or stupid, or both. Weirdly stupid. And then after a while you get used to it, and then they change it again. You're like, wow, that new one looks even weirder, or weird again. It's just the fucking way love goes, man. I don't give a flying fuck. When I'm outside, I predominantly wear my hat, keep my heat warm. And seeing in the summertime, do you know how nice it is to be shaved around the sides? Seeing you sweating your tits off. It's beautiful. Take it easy, GG. Oh, you got a nice wee border collie, man. Or collie. Fuck, that must keep you fit, man. I'm gorgeous Doberman and I follow him. Oh man, shit haircuts. You need to get over that. You know, being, well, nobody needs to do anything right. It served me well, and I think it could serve other people well, not giving a shit about your hair. It's more about how you wear it rather than fucking what it is. Look, I've fucked this up royally, man. I'll still be bouncing about the gym the day with a smile on my face. Right. Today might be my first time of the year going out in my shorts and t-shirt. I need to check the weather, but first... Right, no, we've heard what's... Oh! A bit China bashing.
On the top. When they found his body, his photograph was not in the wallet in his jacket. So romantics like myself will tell you he did reach the top. I spoke to the great
What neck of the wood are you in? I don't think I've bashed you before. I'm listening for
you're a romantic.
Your address, just the general
I spoke
neck of the
to
wood.
Bear Grylls, who did reach the top.
Ooh.
I sat him down and said,
China
"Now
behind
listen,
Mount
young
Everest.
man,
Oh
did he reach
yes,
the top?"
China done something to
And
Mount
Bear
Everest. I
Grylls
love
replied,
this.
"Who gives a damn, Jeffrey? He was the greatest climber that ever lived. He didn't know where
Frankly,
to go. When I reached
frankly,
the top,
dear,
there
I
were
just don't give a damn.
signposts all the way to
What
the
man, my
top.
fucking old phone doesn't have weather on it?
idea.
What's that
He was
all
a
about?
genius, way
My
ahead of
staying,
his time.
I must be
So what's
staying in
happened
the
in
dark
Polly,
ages.
Jeffrey? Who would have taken
I
it and
can't push a
why?
button on my phone
Now,
that will give
one
me
of
the
the
weather.
mistakes, Andrew, which will interest you greatly,
I can
is
listen to these accents all day, man. I
Royal
love them.
Geographical Society, God bless them, were full of a bunch of snobs.
That's
And
the
their
fucking weather
secretary,
on this fucking
Mr.
phone.
X,
In the dark
didn't want
ages
the
was
second
this phone
best climber
invented in?
in the world, a man called Finch, to climb with him
Right, I'm
to the
pretty sure.
top,
Let me see.
because they
This might
didn't
do it.
approve of the fact he was divorced. So now hold your breath, children. Hold your
Weather in
breath.
my area.
So they selected a 23-year-old rower called Irving, who got an
I need to
Oxford
sort
blue,
that out, right.
very fit man, very
Ooh.
brave, good man. But
Just
he
meant to
never
get Sonny
climbed a
12
mountain in his
bells.
life.
I'll be on my
But
bike.
he'd been to Oxford.
Then
So
get
they chose him to fly,
Right.
to go with Mallory. And
no
I think,
fucking rain, that's all I want to hear.
again, the purists tell me that his inexperience may have been the reason Mallory died.
Right.
Now, if you look at the facts, his
See me,
body has been
see me,
found, as
see
you
me
pointed
right to the
out.
gym.
Mallory's
I wear
body
my
has been
cycle
found.
pants.
But Irving's
The
body
big
has
paddy
never
things on the
been
arse.
found. And neither has the
If you do a lot of
Kodak
cycling, man,
camera
your arse can
that
get
Irving
fucking
had on him.
agony, man.
So Kodak,
What the China accused of moving George Mallory after his disappearance. What the
and
fuck
we'll
is this
develop the film
left
and tell you the
field
truth.
anti-China shit? I
love
it. You're going to see
figure
all
of how many
sorts of
people climb
anti-China stuff.
Everest now, Jeffrey, every year, because it can
pop
look
up.
like a road of shops, shoppers on a Saturday afternoon, can't
She
it
was going
now?
to say a load of
They're
shit.
sort of shoulder to shoulder.
You're quite right. You probably get a McDonald's on the way. Take yourself back to 1924, 100 years ago, and
In
think of him
Shropshire.
looking up wondering which route should I go, which way should I go, can I go, is there possibly a chance? But
Jeffrey, we're going to hold you there because we're going to break, but we're going to keep you on after the break because we want to talk to you a bit longer. So stay with us, Jeffrey Archer. We're also going to talk to him about Trump and the election.
Yeah, just quickly, we're going to update you with your weather.
See, she's been listening. Right, what else for a wee bit? All this crap just hush money trial, right? Trump, this is funny. Oh, they're pro-Trump, man. This is even better.
But that's how you set it
so
up.
obviously it's a political witch hunt, which, let's be honest, it clearly looks like that. There's no if buts or maybes about it. It's just, but it's no political witch hunt. It's modern day politics.
This is the system you've got, and now you're all
you can't blame the other side for doing this to Trump when Trump done all that shit to Hillary back in the day. Remember, call her crooked Hillary, I'll lock her up and all that jazz. Now they're going to get him. Oh, boom! It's the Hillary Clinton clique, which is deep in the fucking Hillary Clinton, the Clinton cabal, ball deep in fucking New York City. I know they come from further down south, but they're very powerful in New York City politically.
There were 12 juries.
That's a big Democrat city, and part of his shit to get in first time round was I'd lock her up, crooked Hillary, and now he's going to jail. This is going to be amazing.
The timing is clearly politicised, but this is the only case that's coming to court likely before November the 5th in the election.
She looked better with her glasses than without them. Can he really? Oh, she's still got her glasses. Couldn't you fit their eyes out?
That's how courts work.
Kept from having information that was.
Is he giving it all to slavery reparations?
Yeah, well, that's.
Did you see what happened there? I do not know why, but that happens to talk TV's thing, mate, all the time.
Judge let in that they were
just
told
flicks off live and goes back to the start.
Disbarred for their role in finding him guilty rather than hanging the jury.
Wow, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, lock her up. Just
I
becomes,
do every shit all the time.
It's fascinating, that Trump supporters, not accepting the outcome of elections, not accepting the outcome of jury verdicts.
Oh, the Chinese thing is they sent somebody to get the camera.
I'm going to guess
for
he is going
whatever
to
was on it
right now, but it's interesting. Donald Trump has said he's okay. In his words, he says, "I'm okay with it." He said, "If he does end up in prison, of course, that would make him more of a martyr." And given that this is clearly a highly politicised justice system,
dead body.
I mean, the Democrats were cheering with glee that he got charged, cheering with glee that he got convicted. They think it's a game changer. Judging by the claims of Eric Trump, one of his sons, that actually they've got 200.
Luton. There's no way I would go to one of those things, man. Look at the amount of internet crackpots bouncing about with cameras and all that. And I'd be like, I'm off to a flame to fucking go and ask Charlie Veitch about Ian Tomlinson. And then it would turn into Speaker's Corner, everybody like that, out with their... Oh, as if it's like some sort of Oxford debating fucking thing when it's just two idiots for the internet talking shite to each other in reality. But I'm off to a flame like that. I'd love to think I could come, man, but Danny said hello. Tell Danny his hair's looking lovely. Just don't tell him about my new haircut, right? Anyway, that keeps fucking up royally. I think I know why, actually. Because they do a live stream 24/7 and a show one. I think the show one works.
That's the thing.
But the live one, it's got to be a time limit on it. You can't just run that endlessly because it's all going into a DVR.
Beat this awful human
so
being,
YouTube will have to put some sort of a cut off on it. And nobody's told. Top TV. See, that should be a fucking advisor for him.
And whether you like him or not, whether you have a bone to pick with Donald Trump or not, his policies were better.
Hillary will don the old strap on and teach Donny Boy a lesson.
You know it's immigration.
You know, Barry, just going over that there, that sort of a
and securing the borders as
aspect of what's going on with Trump never came into me, because you look at Biden, you're like, he's no doing nothing. And then you understand it's just the Democrats.
So when you look at the umbrella of illegal immigration, there's a lot of issues under that.
Institution or whatever. The institution of the Democratic Party that's just trying to hit him back with all they've got before this election. Obviously to try and win it, but for what he done to Hillary.
spectacularly for the Democrats, hasn't it?
Yeah, it totally has, and it's really unnecessary actually. When actually looking at the claims against Donald Trump, I mean, this was the weakest of the four
but
cases.
the only one that's come in time.
They decided to throw the kitchen sink at him, and then by the time you've got to the plug that goes down the bottom and it's fallen out the back and you've thrown that at him, people are just like, oh well, do we care? Do we
If you've got people like me, I get usually huge amounts of angry messages when I said I've got no candle for Trump. I genuinely think he's an awful human being. Do I think right now he may be a better president than Joe Biden? Yeah, I think it's probably quite likely. Do I think he'll win? Yeah, I do think it's likely he'll win.
Oh yeah, people who put you on a pedestal because you fucking resonate with some cunts.
Guy, I think he's got a million characters.
Hey, you talking about my accent? My accent's a wee bit all over the gaff, man. Suppose, in fact, I've now stayed 20 years. About 20 years of my accent is from Scumbernauld, which is like an offshoot of Glasgow, which is like just off. It's a kind of hybrid of Glaswegian, because Cumbernauld, like, they've just took Glaswegians for every fucking hellhole and flung them into Cumpsmantown. And then after that, I've stayed in Glasgow. So I've stayed in Glasgow for more of my life than I have in Scumbernauld. But when I've stayed in Glasgow, I've been all about the gaff. So I suppose it's a 1990s Cumbernauld Ned accent, mate, I would say. Aye, defo. Aye, well, there is a East End. Well, that Cumbernaulds closer to the East End than any part of Glasgow. Closer to Cumbernauld than any part of Glasgow. And there's a lot of people from the East End and that neck of the wood that come up there, so it's... But yet again, you get a few folk from Stirling flung in the mix, Falkirk flung in the mix. Fuck knows what Scumbernauldians sound like nowadays. But the ones my age will sound very much like me. But I want to hear about... In fact... Right. I'll do a wee bit of this. Fuck. Must be some good footage of put for all that shit. Must be something on it. So this is just a Google search. One day ago, heavy police presence in London for protest at Champions League. What the fuck was Tommy Robinson there? Oh, it was on the same day as the Champions League, wasn't it? What a great day out, man. Charge on during the day out in the sun and then go and watch your football at night. Fuck. Never even thought it that way. Tommy Robinson supporters shout out hate chants at fun. Nearly Nazi Tommy Robinson mobilises 5,000. Fuck's sake. That's the socialist worker. Anti-racism. Is this... Aye. I'm looking for Wally, but I can't find him. Right, hold on, where's the token blacks and browns? I can't see one token black or brown in amongst that whole squad. I'm not even joking. Where's your tokens, lads? Get your tokens out, Gumbo! Get your tokens out! That's even surprised me, to be quite honest. But fuck it, what does it matter really? But it was just, I think it's an interesting point. This is coming for the socialists, so I think they're going to say really nice things about Tommy Robinson. An older hardcore of Nazi Tommy Robinson supporters. An older? What the fuck? Who wrote this? An attempt to target the Palestinian movement. Well, Israel, Tommy does take dough for the fucking pro-Zionist groups dotted about the gaffs. tried to relaunch himself yet again. I thought he was against trannies. He's always up for this change nowadays, isn't he? A Motley Crue. Oh, this is my favourite type of journalism. Motley Crue, 5,000 thugs. Like that. This is London, not London, Stan. It's a warning that politicians pushing state racism, refugees, Muslims, far-right groups, Britain emerging from the beer house. Oh, God, come on. Of course. It's not going to be let me think of something funny. It's not going to be for Starbucks now, is it? The crowd started shouting, "Oh, Tommy." Dominated the crowd with Scottish, Israeli and Welsh flags dotted in between. Oh my lordy lord. A festival of socialist ideals, Marxism. Oh, that sounds cool. There's another thing Tommy Robinson's fans can go to. Right, fuck yeah, I wanted some footage. That was quite funny though. Right, there's the Telegram. No, right, let's go to the old Sky News. Fair and balanced cost cam. More than 2,000 police officers. What number are they going to put on the fans? It's the same picture. Still can't fucking spot my tokens. Oh, I think I've got a token chink. No, she might just have a tan. She might just be orange. Too small. I'm going to be 100% sure. Oh, and there we go. The face of freedom. These guys need to get better PR. Yeah. Are they giants? Or is he small? Shit, I forgot. I might be reading stuff. A number of people in the crowd are intoxicated. Oh dearie me. Doesn't help matters though, to be honest, man. There's your PR thing, mate. Stop just coming for a piss up. To be honest, but fair dues, why not? One was arrested for drunk and disorderly after... Oh god, that's a bit watered down. The other relations, women subjected racial abuse. Oh fuck. Yeah, you a bitch, you're a Muslim. Scotland Yard said... I'm just seeing if they put a number on it. Don't think they are. Nah. So what do you think, Luton? Was it 5,000? Hold on, I need to catch up to West Lothian. Cumbernauld is a 1970s mistake. I know I should fucking bomb the gaff, man. It's a shithole. All it was good for is Gregory's girl, and that's fucking aged. That's no aged well either. Well, but I can tell it's not Edinburgh. It's no East Coast. I'm not a fucking tutor, like. I need fucking Ken Barbie, man. I'm no into fucking salt and fucking sauce. I need my salt and vinegar. There's east west. There's divides. You only need to go a couple hundred yards down the fucking street, and there's 10 million gangs and different accents. I have a soft spot for a lot of town names for travelling. Do you know what I have a fond spot for? The names of horses in the GGs. They are fucking hilarious. Borderline on Nazi. In fact, some of them are... Oh man, you need to go and see some of these. They're fucking hilarious. In fact, I'll go and check them out for a giggle after I get caught up. 30,000, 3,000 is the BBC figures. So there was the commie Marxist dudes up in the numbers to scare folk. Yeah, Tom's got new kicks. Tommy. Water down. The North Face. You know what, Luton Lion? That's where I've not. It was gone by the time I was getting off with chicks, and it was up with Tony. So it wasn't a place that I frequented a lot of times. But I met people there 1,000,001 times. You know, like, I'll get you up the twenty, where do you want to meet at the clock? And it used to have the wee acrobats and all that, but fucking... can anyone explain why some of the frog horse races all under the start with the same letter? No sure, Barry, what you mean, my man. I do love little Stone Island runners. Or runners' names, Barry, I'm not sure. But let's go and have a look at... You know, I was thinking about doing this the other day. Like, you could actually live stream doing a wee bit of the GGs for a good giggle, man. Right, so what's it on right now? Kicks off in 7 minutes, right? So I play the odds. Right, so it's got a good field. It's paying 4 places instead of 3 for each way. I always do each way. You don't want any of the short numbers because you're not really making any dough. So you come up and look at the higher odds. Just a perfect day. I love that, train spotting. That's how... and I'll put the pricely sum of 5 pence on each way. That's a 10 pence bet. Breaking the bank. And it will kick off. Can't believe it's... And that looks like it's in France. But I've been up... Right, so let's look at the beautiful Aspen. Just a perfect day. Solid spirit. There. French have no imagination. Is this the Bull Bear Nano? Sound Zoom? Harry Luck? Kenko? I think this is Japan or something. Somewhere over the Far East. You get a lot of football teams. You get Rangers mentioned. I've only seen Rangers mentioned, never Celtic, but I don't know why that is. Transcendent Dental. Best Leon. Italian Gold. I was listening to a Spanish race the other day, and it was a pure well-spoken English guy doing the commentary, and he'd obviously stayed in Spain long enough to figure out how to pronounce the names properly, so he was going, yes, I'll do my accent for an example. Aye, mucker, aye, the horses just went round the corner really, really fast, like, and this horse was called Español. It was fucking hilarious. There's a gypsy. Heartbreak Well. Guland. Oh, fuck, these ones are all shite. They're proving me wrong. It's caused the time and there's no really any. British Western. Justice Row. Daddy Joy. Wonder who bought that horse. La Crack Precish. Mayday Spirit. Communist. Kingsland de Sim. Look at all the beautiful silks I've got as well, man. Just beautiful, it's true. Cassidy Kid. Don't know why fuck it, right? What time's that one? See how easy it is to spend 20 pence, man. I'll be long gone by the time that kicks off. That's off at 12:10. But go to this. My wee horse should be up the top. That's right, folks. I've got money on Bobo to be next Prime Minister. Rayna to succeed Sir Keir Starmer. And Nigel Vadge, next Prime Minister. And if you're wondering who that is, that's the black dude with the very impressive beard. And I did honestly stick money on him because he was the rank outsider and he's got a fucking cool looking beard. Oh, here we go. Right. Just a perfect day, number 9 at 13s. Wearing a Crystal Palace top. There's there, right in the middle. In the meantime, that won't kick off for a while. Then you get all the horses. If you're an animal activist, don't watch any of this shit, man. Sure horse races names. 14, I do like Stone Island. Rumours names. £8 Bad Boy Doncaster Baby. No, well, looking, it's still all or nothing. I could put a 5p bet on the nose, or I can put, because each way they're no combined. You're betting 5p on it winning on the nose, and you get the full odds. But you're also putting the same amount on it coming second, third, or fourth in this case, and you get lower odds. I do know what you mean, right? I do know what you mean, but let me show you the odds. So you're getting 1 to 5 for the first 4 places, but if your horse wins, so it just gives you a wee fallback, and it also makes the races a wee bit more interesting to watch. Because if your horse is staying shit and you know they're not going to win, they can still maybe come in second, third, or fourth. That's why I always like to. Oh no, I don't know if I should show this shit. Nah, forget. Settled bets. It's going to take forever. I do know what you mean though. 5p bets. I don't play with money. I play for the fucking enjoyment of it. I used to play with the money like, oh my god, the bookies always win. The bookies always win. So why spend a fiver fucking in 1 bet, 2 bets, 5 bets, and then it's gone and you can't play, you can't even get an enjoyment of football and shit horse races that you would never watch ever. Just gives you the excitement, and you're winning no money at all, little money, because the bookies always win. But I do get you, man. Wild, I know. I'll stick more money on Rangers and football and shit like that.
Last one to come forward.
I'll definitely be sticking dough on Scotland. Like, for example, I'll be sitting here feeling patriotic and I'll stick money on Scotland to win the Euros. I know it's not going to happen, but it's just that wee bit. I think the first thing I'll do, and they're off.
Is Gillador tossing ahead but being tucked towards the inside.
Just
as
a
the early
perfect
lead
day
is taken
number
up
9.
by Regalian in the blue jacket towards the inner. Moving up on the outer, Solid Spirit, black and pink, and wider out is Beautiful Aspen, the favourite. That's the front 3 as they go past for the first time. Settling into 4th position, Fiona, then the light blue of Lunaticos. Following Lunaticos towards the outside is Ipling, and then on the inner,
inside's there.
Further back down the field, we have Alerio, grey sleeves on the outer, then towards the inner of
Crystal Palace, top. All right, Alan, my man, how you doing?
And further back down the field,
that's why you were not allowed to do gambling back in the day, buddy.
As the runners make their way onto the far side. So opening up and going 2 lengths clear is Beautiful Aspen now, with Regalian on the outer, Solid Spirit on the inside racing in 3rd. Behind those, Fiona is 4th, white colours Ipling 5th. Lunaticos races next, and following that one is Alerio. Then towards the inside, the orange sleeves of Gillador. Moving up on the outer, Gwen Hardu.
Hardu doesn't even mention once.
And just being snatched up there at the back of the field was Fiona, as they make the turn back towards the home straight. So swinging back.
Now, are you saying it's a toss-up? Luton, I could take that the wrong way.
Quickens on. Got the others off the bit. Regalian, hard-ridden in 2nd, down the out of the white jacket of Ipling as they come down the home straight, making ground towards the inside.
Right, there's my wee dude there, man.
Beautiful Aspen continues to show the way. Fiona maybe into 2nd position, but Beautiful Aspen still a couple of lengths clear. And as they run towards the line, Beautiful Aspen is winning it comfortably to Fiona in 2nd, with Lunaticos getting through for 3rd.
See? If I was like, I'm definitely going to win, I've cracked the system, and put any dough on that at all, I would be fucking down. Now I'm sitting here, that cost me 10p of my time to sit and watch a race and feel like, oh, come on. But anywho's, you could actually do that. You know, I might do that one evening if I'm sitting getting stuck into the GGs, but it will only be 5p bets and shit like that. Right. You would have loved Parliament Square yesterday, Kipster. What was happening in Parliament Square? Oh no, man, there'd be too many people want to talk about politics. I'm on a day out, man, and having fun. Bouncing about, getting people discussing their ideologies and fucking... Isn't it an idea of a good time for me? I'd rather be talking shite about horses, football, that kind of stuff, you know? I'm not even joking. Shit, right. What happens when the Pope dies? Stevie. I need a third choice. Pesky Catholics. Can't even pick a decent haircut and get that skin clip. No, man, I'm keeping it, buddy. I'm not even joking. Those kind of reactions makes me more pig ignorant about it. I don't like it. Fuck you. Oh, that's a joke to the ancient martial art of Glaswegian. Fuck you. Anyway, 1p of that 10p bet just went towards a bag of oats. See, every day's a good day, man. I've fucking done my good job for the day. July 27th. Oh, Tommy. Is he doing another get together shindig? Oh, bass. Why was I thinking about that the other day, actually? I can't mind. But anyway, so that's a whole roundup of the news cycle, pretty much. The UK's not talking about fuck all. I think there was only 7 or something dead in Gaza last night. Ukraine's still the shithole, but Russia are making advantages from the front. North Korea sent South Korea shit bombs. That's the best story of the day. That is the story of the motherfucking day. The shit bombs that South Korea sent. That is phenomenal. Isn't it? That is just good old fashioned crack. Hey, what's Kim Jong-un? Hey, Kim Jong-un, what are we going to do today, brains? Let's send shit bombs to the South Koreans. Okay, I'll shit in a bag and we'll fire it to them when the wind is right on a balloon. That is genuinely the best story of the fucking day. What am I looking for? The BBC News, actually. Let's see. Mexico, arriba, Mexico. Nigeria. My monthly bill won't buy my bag of rice. I know, but that's a joke, isn't it? 90 dead in India in 3 days. Heatwave, global warming. Why are they talking about this cryptocurrency queen's murky link to... Oh, that was why. China says MI6 recruited Chinese couple as spy. How dare they? US expects Israel will accept Gaza ceasefire plan because it's their proposal, and if it's their proposal and they want the war to go on, there's going to be something in it that Hamas can't accept. German football coach condemns racist shit. Where's the shit bombs? Surely the shit bombs have got to be... Right, where do we need to go in the world? Far East. Asia. you kidding me? The shit bomb? No! There we go. Right, depending on what news outlet you get this from, you will find that part of the payload was shit. They were shitting in bags, putting them on balloons and sending them to their adversaries. Aye, I'm not kidding you. Hold on, I'll show you. Poop bombs. It's just some outlets are not talking about it. Poop bombs. Right, fucking. Oh, Korea. Ah, shit. That's my. Ah, there we go. Right. Poop attack. So, man who started the North Korean balloon fight plots revenge for poopa cats. There was a few that were AP. It was the Hindu Times, wasn't it, that was calling them. But aye, it was the Hindu Times came. Let me see. I wonder if this is the Hindu Times. No. Why are the fucking Hindu Times so involved in that neck of the wood? Alright, past 24. No, but it definitely is poop bombs. I got it up earlier on. Oh, fuck. They cunt wants you to take cookies up the ass. Sign in with Google. Get to fuck. There, you can see the shit in that one. Oh man, they have got a picture. A plastic bag carrying various objects, including what appeared to be trash. Disgusting. Why can I not find this now, but found it dead easy earlier on? Poop. Because one of them was saying poop bombs. This is annoying me now. Oh, there we go. I think they ran out of poop. That's what I call fucking news. I think we'll see this. I think we'll see that grown. And they really were shitting on their adversaries from above, weren't they? That's classic. Love the doggy fertilizer. Star David flag. Oh, that's interesting. That wasn't happening before. Nice Sky, BBC and all the M&S reported in March. Did Patriots a wrong union? I think it was predominantly Tommy Robinson's day out, wasn't it? So, I suppose it's tomato on it. It's a play on words to upset every cunt. It's just shite influence. Anyway, you couldn't get any better than that stuff, man. That's my definitely story of the day. So I'm going to get back to my glass stick. I'm getting out on my bike for my first day on my shorts and t-shirt. So tune in tomorrow. Should be about tomorrow. I've not hit the threshold of the bullshit. My bullshit meter hasn't broke yet. And tune in for some more PoliTITS. Stick a wee thumbs up if you enjoy the shits and giggles with the PoliTITS. And if you like politics, but sick of the tits, then tune into the Daily PoliTITS. Typically Monday to Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning. Very simple format, looking at as many talking whole, English talking whole outlets as I can. Oh, hold on, didn't look at TAS. Joanna. That's interesting. You know what? That's even worth. I know it's in Africa, but I don't know exactly what point in Africa. But no, that obviously insinuates the Russian influence. Hold on, that isn't what I asked for. That's what I asked for. Also, it looks like. Also, it's like kind of Central West Africa, right? It's on the coast. I know that doesn't mean much, but it does. That's where anybody exporting anything good back in the day or having anything good to sell for there back in the day would have been had ports and whatnot. So that was from TAS. It was Reuters saying it. Why is everybody Arriba? I've not figured out yet why this is so all over the news right now. BBC with these spokesholes. Oh, that'll be. Oh, that's that Labour guy that took dough. So, I'm so surprised. Look, he's all smiles and looking great in a fucking suit, but he's taking donations and they're all with the same fucking. They're all pigs at the same fucking trough. Stop spinning this shit that there's a few bad apples. A few bad. Hundreds of bad apples spoil the fucking bunch.
But he described a proposed increase in defence spending to 2.5% of GDP.
Yeah, that's an election winner nowadays. Giving more money for guns, bombs and bullets while we starve our fucking ass off.
I point my camera where others prefer not to look.
I write about what it means to be American and about...
Yep. And I always know a good news story when I hear emotional music in the background. Got to love
with
it.
Russia in a desperate attempt to
I
salvage
love that
its
guy,
failing.
man. I used to watch him back in the day when he was, I think it was RT, I don't know, the money, oh no, Crosstalk Rules, that's it. Fuck's sake, there's my programming
in
fake
Budapest.
RT
He is a
back today.
podcaster at The Gaggle, which can be found on
NATO bashing, I'm surprised. When's that other fucking horse off? 12:10, no chance I'm ringing about for that. Press TV, I know touched on them all day, but it's going to be all about Gaza.
Even more so of many Arab governments is simply unbearable.
115 French opposition.
Not got a live stream at the moment. Interestingly enough. Touched on the Germans. It's also interesting to see the viewing figures that these mobs are getting. I should actually... Oh, hold on, this might be interesting.
Vladimir Zelensky says Beijing is working hard to prevent countries from attending a Ukrainian peace forum in Switzerland.
Yeah, because NATO's the front line. Ukraine's the front line for everybody that hates NATO and the West right now. Well,
Mexico has elected
one of the
its
front
first
lines.
female president, Claudia Sheinbaum, making history after securing...
Is it because she has a vagina that is making so much news? Election battle. Fuck me. GB News, I'm thinking they're
continue
going
to be paid to Rob Burrow, who has died at the age of 41, the former England international and...
Let's see what these... As I said, their live stream will not work. Oh, I've not touched base with the Yankee Doodle Dandies yet. Oh, good football stadium, I think.
Who are traveling with the best defense group from the United States to Normandy. All of this for a D-Day 80th anniversary commemorations. And again, you can see the photographer right there panning. But earlier we were seeing some live shots of the crowd gathering right there. No sound. We did.
Right. So you get the idea, the premise of the show. Tune in tomorrow for your Daily PoliTITS. Go and have a nice one out there, man. Looks like a nice day. I'm going to go and suck on a glass dick. Get it? Got it. Good catches. Clips, clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell.